Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Paper Dungeon. This episode marks the beginning of a new adventure, Book 2, The Outer Realms. First off, I would like to thank my players that are here at the table with me today. I'm so thankful to have you, and shout out as well to the player that is not with us right now. DJ, my heart goes out to you. We are so excited for when you can eventually join us. I'm excited to see where we go in this journey. I'm excited to see what all goes on. I would also like to thank everyone here at the start of this journey of highs and lows, and I would invite you to get invested. Come along with this journey. We have a lot of things planned for ways that you can interact with the story and interact with us that will be implemented the more that we go into this story. Before we play, I of course want to introduce who exactly we are and who our players are. First of all, we are the Paper Dungeon. We play TTRPGs. That's why you're here. I am Aaron, also known as Banderbull, or at least trying to be eventually known as Banderbull. Hopefully I will be streaming and making art, and I am the DM for the story. That's why I'm here. Let's, I guess, just go around the table on my screen. Drew, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh yes, of course. Hello, everybody. I'm Drew. I get to be one of our many lovely players today. I'm so excited. I have been waiting to play D&D again for so long. You can't really find me anywhere right now, but in the future, you can find me at almstudios.net for all your audio tech needs, primarily for music.
Fantastic. Next up, the last of the Campaign 1 players, Grant, could you please introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, we're back and better than ever. This is Grant, who in Campaign 1 played Edward, as you can remember, and I'm so excited to play with all of you today. We have two new people with us, and they are both just wonderful to work with, and I'm so excited to enter into the story with them. So I'll go ahead and pass it on to, let's go, Gracie.
Hi, my name is Gracie. I am a lover of all things whimsical and cozy, and I play a lot of those kinds of games, but I also am a huge fan of tabletop RPGs, and am a lifelong theater kid. So very excited to be here and tell some cool stories.
Last but not least, absolutely not least, someone that actually we have not yet introduced. Some of you may be meeting her for the first time. Jar Jar, the fantastic Jar Jar. Please introduce yourself to all of the lovely people out there.
Well, everything was said so well, but hi, I'm Jar Jar. All throughout socials, you can find me at Jar Jar Tings. I am fairly new within the social community, on and off with D&D, but still an avid lover, also very big gamer, and overall I'm just wanting to bring another perspective on the community.
I am so excited to have y'all here. I would also like to say y'all look great, fantastic, you look wonderful. Man,
You too, DM.
Wow. I would also like to thank kind of the sponsor of the campaign as a whole, all of our Kickstart supporters, all of our Kickstarters out there. They tripled our initial goal. Without your support, we would not be able to have this show or even be anywhere near as prepared and ready that we are. Make sure, if you are one of those backers, that you are checking your email and filling out the backer survey. There are a few of you out there who have not yet finished it. No need to be concerned. The deliverables are well on their way. We're making good progress on those, so keep an eye out in your email for any updates. We will be doing our best to keep you all informed. Additionally, our previous campaign was definitely PG-13. I would like to introduce a new thing, which is this story will occasionally contain some more adult themes than it has in the past. We will do our best to provide, if there are any content warnings that are necessary, we will make sure to put those out there. But as in the nature of an improv show, there may be times where certain themes arise that are unexpected. We are adults. We hope that those of you watching are mature and are adults yourselves, and that you handle and take things in stride. and we're going to have an absolute blast while it happens. Thank you so much for listening and to this whole long spiel. More than anything, we want to get going. We want to tell this story. So, as far as I know, I think it's about time to get started with campaign 2, book 2 of the Paper Dungeon, Outer Realms. Drew, if you would like to play the intro music, now is the time. Welcome to Nico Muris. Recently, certain troubles have arisen. Darkness from ages long past has broke free of an eternity of slumber and has been causing devastation across the land. Thankfully, a group of heroes has arisen to stop it. And as their battles reign and wage war across all sorts of different civilizations, absolutely none of that matters to the small town of Furstenn. Spelled Furstenn. This little town hidden in a forest valley is unconcerned with the going-ons of the outer world. They are simple people living their lives day to day. Almost no one travels to Furstenn, and almost no one leaves. That is until 3 days ago, where a tremor went through the earth. Not exactly an earthquake by any means, more as though that creation itself had shivered. Thankfully, there was no damage except for a single image, the most priceless item in the entire town, the stained glass window in the church depicting the goddess of creation, Lanantari, which is cracked. Among the murmurs of discontent and fear amongst the people, a few surprising visitors have gone unnoticed. As we look at these suspicious, or maybe not so suspicious individuals, first off, I want to take a look just a little outside the town of Furstenn. A newer kind of shack has been built, a log cabin made by hand, rather bare in furnishing. A swayback horse kind of rests in a humble stable to the outside. And as we look through the window, as the light crests over the hill and a beam of light lands upon the face of a man who's just fallen out of the bed in a cold sweat, Grant, could you please tell us who we see here?
You see a man whose years are beginning to add up. He looks tired. His noticing caramel gold eyes hide behind his dark cowboy-esque hat. Crudely cut sandy hair spills down around his head, complemented by his strong, contouring beard. You can tell he cares. His thick hide jacket looks well made, but used. The notch in his large collar means he's a tradesman of some sort. That explains why his clothes look well worked in. The sleeves of his jacket are creased and scarred. His handmade pants look tailored to fit him, but sturdy enough to work in. His tipped boots look like horse riding boots, and they could certainly use a good polishing. His tired face and noticing eyes makes Leslie look altogether kind and dangerous. Oh man. That dream was worse than the last. I better get washed up. He stands, he looks a little bit shaken, and he walks over to his wash basin where he starts to splash water on his face, and he just goes through his typical morning tasks.
Absolutely. Today, you being kind of almost a lumberjack, more of a forester than anything. Today is the day that you bring your goods into town. You kind of have a weekly to bi-weekly routine where you deliver chopped wood and lumber, firewood to the people of Furstenn. Of course, stopping for an obligatory drink after all of your deliveries have been made.
Of course, that's mandatory. I never go without that drink.
Absolutely.
I also forgot to mention, my character is a ranger. So he is very used to walking around and knowing about stuff. That's how I define a ranger. And he's good at doing things from further away than up close.
Awesome.
Thank you.
What an apt description of a ranger. They
he
walk
goes by
around
Bear.
and know stuff.
Yes. And he goes by Bear, not Leslie.
Captain Leslie, I do have a question. For the life of me, I could not find this information anywhere. What is the name of your noble steed that is currently parked outside? I feel like you've told me.
Let's say Bessie.
Bessie, I like it. Let me write that down. I'm sure that'll come into play.
Bessie, my most trusted steed. You've been with me for so many years now.
Yes, Bessie the horse.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Is kind of a rescue, actually. Bessie was not very well taken care of when she was younger, but you managed to stop her from being basically sold to the glue factories. Hey, that's a term. Hey, I saw those eyes, Gracie. Provided some emergency medical first aid, got her back into relative riding capacity. She's not going to be entering any wars anytime soon. But you can see that she is kind of pawing at the ground in anticipation because she knows that it is the day that you guys head into town, which means that she's going to get all sorts of oats from the village children.
Oh, let's go. And maybe, if she's lucky, a carrot or two.
Absolutely. So is there anything else that you particularly need to do before you head into town?
I definitely need to load up my trailer with the wood that I chopped down because that's what I do for money.
Yes.
If I left without my wood in my trailer, then I wouldn't have rent. Well, I don't really pay rent. I wouldn't have money for whatever.
No one
money
exactly knew. You aren't new to town. But certainly when you first showed up, people were very suspicious. So you kind of building your own house on the outskirts was the best option for you. Mm-hmm. So you go about your task. You load up your sled, basically, of logs and head into town. We are going to go a little bit ahead of you as you enter into town, start making your deliveries to different houses. First Inn is not a traveling town. People don't come to First Inn. They don't come here to sightsee. No one really knows how First Inn started. Someone apparently showed up here, and then other people found them. But there is only one inn in First Inn. It is the First Inn. It's their own little play on words. First Inn's First Inn. It's also their only inn. And it isn't even really an inn. It is a building that has an extra room that they decided to hang a sign on and call it an inn. We are going to look kind of at a little room, kind of Harry Potter style, under the stairs. And we are going to look at waking up in the morning, once again, cold sweat, dreams terrible. Jar Jar, your character, much apology from the owners of this inn, because they have had more guests here than they have ever had before in the entirety of running this inn, have only been able to give you this meager room under the stairs. Could you please tell us who we see under these steps?
Yeah. So, although her outside demeanor seems very calm and very almost like you want to walk up and talk to her, once you approach her, the essence that comes from her chest and from her soul is slightly different. When she wakes up, of course, although clumsily, hits her head on the ceiling, goes, "Oh, shoot. Well, I was trying to control that dream, but it did not work. Time for a check." So during the check, she begins to check her feet and her hands that almost look like she's walked through soot, but it's not removable. Looks like it's grown more than usual. Great. Well, let's just go ahead and get started for the day. Although quite tight squeeze, she prepares to get ready for her day, combing through her long raven black hair, braiding it and putting her usual little point at the end. along with that, putting on her usual garments that, after a while being put together, she looks very homeless or almost hag-like. And of course, she can't forget her lovely armband that her mama gave to her. After doing a quick check, she's like, all right, well, this stuff is useless as socks on a rooster, but we're just gonna get through the day. Looks at both of her sickles. Sun, moon, got it. And walks out the door and gives a kind of smile.
Can I ask quickly, what class are you?
I am a druid.
Awesome. Now, instead of having to pay rent here, you being not exactly a master, but very, very knowledgeable about the culinary arts, have kind of agreed to assist them in making breakfast because they now have to cook for more people than they have ever had to cook for before. A whole 3 extra people. This inn, the first inn, is ran by a Nancy and Gary Irvin. Kind of an approaching later in age, more like 47 to 48, getting up there. They're innkeepers by happenstance. They happen to have an extra room, and at some point in time, a traveler showed up, and no one knew where to put them, and they volunteered, and we're like, we might as well just declare ourselves the innkeepers, and this is what it is. We have a nice entry kind of living room dining area, and so you are able to head to the kitchens. Thankfully, no one is up at this time. You woke up a little bit earlier than the others. You do know that this is the day that the woodsman comes to town, and so you're unsurprised when, after all of his deliveries in the early light of dawn, Bear, the mysterious man who lives in the wood, walks through the door and sits like he owns the place at the table, and is greeted by Gary. Did I get his name right? Gosh dang, Gary. It is Gary. Good job, me.
Well, hi there, Gary.
Oh, howdy there, friend. I suppose it's the usual for you this morning.
Oh, yeah. I didn't sleep too well last night, so I might as well take a black coffee as well if you have it.
Oh, of course. Cowboy style, I suppose?
That's how I like it.
Absolutely. I don't know. Have you two met each other? If you haven't, Bear, this fine lass. Her name's Medora. Is that right, Medora?
Yes, that's sure right, sir. That's sure right.
Oh, and is she a whiz in the kitchen? I'm sure if you're willing to pay for it, I'm sure she can cook you up just about anything that you set your mind on. I'll get to starting on that coffee. I should be out here in a couple minutes. You two, I hope you get along well. We don't want any fights in the first inn. It'll be the last. I'll get right to it. And he heads off to the kitchens.
You can tell Leslie looks just a little bit skeptical. He seems friendly, but just a little skeptical. It's a pleasure to meet you, he says as he tips his hat.
Look, I don't know where you've come from. I don't know what you do. I don't care what you do. But you stick to your business, I stick to mine, and you better scramble like an egg before I fold you like an omelet. Now, most I got in the bag I saw was eggs and mushrooms. Do you want a mushroom omelet? That's all we got right now.
I will take whatever you'd like to make me. I'm so
That's
sorry.
what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Now you better sit on tight and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
chill. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I thought.
That is fantastic. At the end of this kind of harsh introduction, I love it. Descending the stairs, one of the current kind of resters, current travelers that are here at the inn, descends. Drew, you have awoken at your regular time, gotten yourself ready. You heard the tail end of this conversation. You have seen Medora around, encountered her a couple times during your stay. You haven't been here for long. Medora showed up a few days after you arrived. Can you tell us, as you descend the stairs, who exactly do we see? Who are you?
Yeah, so descending down the stairs, wearing what used to be very nice, maybe Victorian noble looking attire, now well worn with travel and dirt and some of the seams beginning to fray, with patchwork leather armor kind of scattered about, partially hidden underneath his dual color cloak, partially black with kind of the silver trim, partially white with this kind of more golden trim. He has very light, pale skin, with kind of black, kind of messy hair pulled into a very loose ponytail that kind of drapes over his shoulder, and hidden, somewhat hidden beneath his hood, you can see kind of the slight glow of his two eyes. His right eye being this kind of stormy gray blue, while his other being a more bright emerald green. Also, wrapped around his neck is almost like a scarf, is one of his familiars, a gray snake, kind of just ever so peeking his head out of the shade of the hood, trying to look around. Meanwhile, a beautiful bird with the feathers of a hummingbird, but more so the form of a stellar jay, is kind of flying around, lightly chirping and singing, just kind of flying around his head as he makes his way down the staircase. And as soon as he sees Bear and Medora, he just clocks exactly where they are, and without saying a word, he just expertly weaves his way to keep very distant from both of them, and just gets into one of the corners where there's a table and sits down and begins to pull out some books, and is like begins to take some notes, like comparing notes between a couple different books and tomes and scattered papers that he has.
Now, as you
and I
enter,
forgot to say, I am playing a wizard.
Awesome. As you enter into the kind of dining / living room area, a few things happen. Bear, would you prefer if I call you Bear or call you Leslie?
Please call me Bear so that it helps me remember to be Bear.
Bear, you hardly even notice the footsteps of this slender fellow descending the staircase, because as you're waiting for whatever Medora happens to bring you for sustenance to be made, you start to get just a splitting headache. And it's the same headache that you get, well, you haven't gotten for a long time. It's the same feeling that you got while you were floating and you heard those voices. It's the feeling of being watched by something that you cannot see, but you know that it is coming from the direction of Medora.
All right, I've come back with your dang mushroom omelet here, and I just throw it on the table because I'm just
As soon as she sets it down, the headache is gone.
Oh, thank you.
What's got your mind all in a twist? You look like you're holding in something that you can't let go.
I'm sorry. I just had it was a.
Gotta go use the bathroom or something?
No, it's just a bit of a dizzy spell. I get them every now and then. Sorry. Thank you very much. This looks very good.
Oh, no worries. I do apologize for being pretty mean. I'm really bad about that.
No, it's okay. I understand what it's like being suspicious of strangers. Actually, there's not many people who just come breezing through this town. I was actually about to ask you some of the same questions that you asked me. It's nice to meet you. What brings you to this town?
Well, I'll say it's nice to meet you too. And don't worry about your omelets not poisoned. Anyways.
Thanks for clarifying.
Of course. I don't want to go into too much detail on what brings me to this town. Let's just say I don't plan on staying for too long. I'm just helping out. I'm helping out the folks here, but that's it.
I won't press. I think it's great that you're here for the time you are. Please take your time to relax. The people here are quite hospitable, even though at times they can be a little bit much. You know, they don't have a lot of people to talk to. So if they end up yapping away, that's why. In fact, this morning I ran into Sherry down the street.
Sherry, I haven't seen her in ages. How's she doing?
You know Sherry?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know Sherry. Yeah.
she's awfully sweet. Her and
She stole money, so but still, she's sweet. Continue.
did she? We just
Yeah,
keep
she-
yapping away. I
Absolutely.
imagine we're talking the goss.
But I will say, I don't know if you've seen this skinny boy that comes down every so often. He thinks he's hiding. He thinks he's hiding,
corner.
but it's just so sweet. If you look in the corner over there, and I point in like that weird shadow, that's like it looks like almost. I want to say that the table that he's sitting at is just like just shrouded by darkness. I'm like,
it's
that boy over
very
there.
bright in here, except this tunnel of darkness.
That boy over there got the gree, and I don't know him like that. But
Well,
it
you
feels
know.
like the gree's just following him. It's not on him, but it's following him. So I say, you know
He
what?
tends to
Yeah.
keep to the shadows. I don't blame anybody for being shy. In fact, I'm a little bit shy myself. I almost didn't notice his footsteps as he came down the stairs, but then I did.
Also, when after there's a slight lull in your conversation, you do both notice that there's a bird sitting on the table, like looking at both of you guys. Just if a bird could smile, she's just looking at both of you guys, just back and forth, and occasionally chirping.
Oh, hello, little bird. You know what? I got something for you. And I take out a handful of seeds, like really tiny seeds that birds usually like. I'm like, do you like these seeds? Do you like these seeds, little bird? You like them?
It just starts pecking out of your hand.
Oh, that's good.
It's very
That's
friendly.
good. See, I love animals, although like it's with stuff that I'm learning right now, it's kind of hard to really get attached to animals, but I sure do love them.
I will state,
Yeah, go ahead.
Midori, you did mention kind of this bad gree that follows.
Oh, he
this
got bad
mysterious
gree,
stranger.
but it's weird.
Even more than you yourself as a player know, you have noticed the few times that you've seen him, you have always had the ability to pick up on spirits. Almost everyone who has lived in any way has spirits that follow them, whether out of vengeance or protection or simply interest. And he certainly does have them, but something about them is different, fundamentally strange to you. It's as though they're spirits that come from somewhere that you have never encountered. And from your place of birth, that is not something that you understand. You've seen spirits from all walks of life. But something about these triggers almost a flight or fight response in you. Not of fear, but just of a sense of wrongness that you can't quite put your finger on. And as you kind of ponder it, the door swings open. And our last participant walks through kind of scraping some fresh dirt off of her boots. Gracie, as you walk into the first inn, could you please tell us who we see?
You see a fairly tall, muscular human whose hair is adorned in twin braids, wearing all black, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible, which works for the most part, aside from a pretty large scar running from the side of her cheek all the way down her neck. She is decked out in weapons. Doesn't really help the inconspicuous aspect either. And if you look closely as she is wiping her feet off at the door, you might find a little bit of blood caked on the soles of her shoes. She is a human fighter, and she looks at everyone in the inn. Morning. And she walks straight through to the other corner, as far away from the bar as possible.
The other pillar of darkness.
There's two pillars.
Yeah, just,
It's actually just a hole in the roof.
Nancy will move out from the kitchen, seeing you come in, and say, "Oh, sweetheart, oh, how was your night? I don't mean to pry, but I'm going to pry some. Did you have a good night out with the fellow?"
Yes, it was to die for. really great.
Oh, that's
Um,
good. That's so
I
good to
just-
hear.
I don't think it's gonna work out between the two of us.
No,
I
he was.
know. He just
I can't believe it. He seemed
fundamental
like
differences.
you seemed so good together. You seemed like he was such a charming man.
You know,
Um,
it was fun while it lasted.
well, that's good to hear. That's it's sometimes endings are necessary. Sometimes endings are even more important than beginnings.
I fully agree, man.
But
Yeah,
please call me Nancy.
Nancy.
How can I help you today? Is there something I could get for you? Do you need a glass of water? A glass of I suppose that we could have maybe a morning beer. It's safer to drink than the water, truth be told.
You know what? Beer would be great. Actually, yeah.
That's awesome. Nothing better than a spirit to raise your spirits. Am I right?
You know me so well.
Sorry.
A bird chirps as she's now standing next to where Nancy and Addie are, and again just kind of looks up at both of them, almost smiling. And then when makes a remark about beer, she also almost like perks up, even more excited.
You want some?
Does the bird like beer? What?
The bird looks at you. Can you make an insight check to the bird?
Me and my low wisdom? Yeah.
I knew you were meant for this.
This is the first roll of the campaign.
God, this is too much pressure.
If that is better for you.
Animal handling? Yeah, that sounds great. That's an 11.
Well,
It's above 10.
This bird seems. Well, I suppose this might be more of a question for Drew. Has this bird had alcohol before?
I like to think yes, actually.
Next question, didn't like it.
Not often. No, definitely not. But I don't think she would have ever tried beer before. So I think her interest would have been piqued.
Yes, the bird knows what alcohol is. It knows that beer is alcohol, and it is a very adventurous bird.
Yeah,
this is what you understand from this animal handling check. You can take whatever implication you want for whether or not it wants beer.
Can I share a beer with your bird?
Are you saying that like in Cal's direction?
Yeah.
And I look over at Bear. I'm like, the introverts are talking.
I've been listening.
Not out loud, but in your head, you hear, well, if you want to give her a drink, that's your choice.
Okay.
The bird looks at you with expectation.
Nancy, can I have a little cup as well?
Oh, of course. I'll send a tumbler over.
Thank
She
you,
says.
ma'am.
I'll take a beer too, I guess. If everybody else is having one.
You know what? We'll have beers for the whole group of you. Medora, feel free to sit down. You've done a fine job. I'm awake now and ready, so I can take over cooking. I know I can't match up to you, but I'm sure you want to eat something.
Oh, ma'am, you are my mon cher. That's okay. I'll take a beer, and there's some more mushrooms in the back. I pulled some last night, so.
I thought when you speak the words that I don't be understanding, but I'm sure they're compliments. She heads over, starts cooking up something. Gary swoops behind her, kind of whispers something in her ear, kisses her on the cheek, and then goes to probably start making bread for the day. Now that everyone is here together, I would like to introduce one of the new kind of options that we have available in this campaign, a little homebrew rule. Would any of you like to eavesdrop?
Oh, I've been eavesdropping this whole time.
I mean, let's ask this question. Who doesn't want to eavesdrop?
All right, I need to decide amongst you who is going to roll a d4 for me.
Oh,
You want us to decide, or are you going to decide?
Figure out who's going to do it. It's up to you.
I think
we all
want to
want
guess
to, right?
Gracie.
I was going to say Gracie as well.
Gracie already
Gracie's been
rolled.
volunteered.
Gracie already
Voluntold.
rolled.
I got voluntold.
Okay, that's fair.
D4.
D4, roll for me.
Go ahead.
1.
Ooh, a 1.
These are going great on my end.
Killing it. We get him out early, you know?
Yeah.
You've only rolled ones, literally.
No,
One.
Hey.
That's an 11. Is 2 ones.
no, I rolled a 9. I had a +2 in animal handling.
9.
Oh, I take it back.
Yeah.
Hey, I think y'all are doing great.
Thanks.
You.
So with a 1, basically going forward in this campaign, when you are in a bar or a meeting place, a tavern, an inn, anywhere where you think that you could, where people meet up and you think that you could gather information, you will be given the option to eavesdrop. It is basically once per day per party, not party member. So if one of you is eavesdropping in a location, you can't all eavesdrop and get 6 gosh dang things going on. But it will provide you either with things that don't absolutely have zero purpose or necessity towards this campaign, going-ons in the world, going-ons where you are specifically, maybe even stories about yourselves or people that you know. Since this is a small town, the options are limited, so you only roll the D4, but we'll be using like a D100 in the future. With a 1, the tables go crazy here.
I can't wait.
With a 1, you notice hanging up on the wall, for those of you who have been in the tavern consistently, you would know. But for you specifically, Addie, you have kind of been out and about, scouting out and doing stuff. You haven't really been paying attention to what's going on in the tavern. You see hanging on the wall, there is a handmade like missing poster, kind of like the missing child on the back of a milk carton. Apparently, a Lucy has gone missing. Written on it is a monetary reward of 2 copper pieces. And for those of you who have been here, you know that her mother, Greta, kind of the widow of Furston, has been frantic over the past couple of days because there have been bandit sightings, and which are very rare in this peaceful part of the world. And Lucy has gone missing. So that is the kind of rumor / interest that has caught your eye today. Mary finishes cooking and brings out some steins of beer to all of you. Sits down at the table to dine with you along with Gary. Is there anything else that you guys would particularly like to talk about? Get to know each other for any random reason?
Not at this time, DM.
Ooh, yes, Jar Jar.
Can I do a perception check on Addie, like her outward appearance? Because since I kind of noticed when she was walking in that there was blood in her shoes.
Yes,
Is there
absolutely.
maybe anything else I can see?
Yes, I also have something in specific for Talith as well when we get to that. But yeah, please roll me a perception check.
Let me double check my numbers here. Let me double check.
You
Also-
got this.
Also, I'm going to say it now. It might come up organically, but I don't want to keep referring to my familiars as snake and bird. The bird's name is Melody, and the snake's name is Sirius. So when I refer to them as that's what's going on.
I will try to remember that. It's going in the notes.
Sirius the snake.
Sirius
I like
the
the
snake,
alliteration.
Melody
Why
the
so
bird.
Melody.
serious?
Why so serious?
Also, I got a
what is your
19.
Wow,
19
so
on the
serious.
perception check. Well, there are a couple of things that you know, or at least that you can tell. First off, not only is there freshly turned earth on her boots, you can also see that her hands are like freshly calloused and used, as well as having that same kind of grimy dirt, most likely the same stuff from her boots. And also that she most likely did not sleep the night before. She had a relatively strenuous night of physical activity. You can see some sweat. As for what that entails, you don't really know, but those are the main things that you pick up. Talith, as you are sitting there and a plate of hash and grits and all sorts of goodness gets slid across the table to you, and you dine on a morning beer, mainly for the carbs. You get a very odd sense as you are kind of sitting there working on your own project, kind of studying magic and just kind of really trying to feel the weave itself. You notice that there is a strange flow of magic in the air. And not magic as though it is emanating, more as though it is being diverted, where you are feeling the energy of the world move around you. There is a dead zone, specifically where Addie is sitting.
Can you pass the sausage?
Yes. Oh,
Not
darling.
you, Nancy. Not you. The one who's.
Are you sure I can get up?
I don't want you to get up and reach. Hey.
What? Me?
Hello. Good morning.
Me?
Hey.
So sorry.
Him?
Bear,
He's taking
Bear,
notes.
she's talking to the skinny man. Skinny man.
Yeah, taking note of that, and the fact that Addie is also like snapping her finger at me, I will collect my tomes and my notes and throw them in my bag, and make my way and sit like on the stool. Like if Addie is sitting here, I'm gonna put one stool between us, and I'm gonna sit next to her, and I will also give a slight whistle, and Melody will kind of fly back over to me and just kind of land on my shoulder.
She's carrying a tumbler in her feet as she flies. It's like she kind of drags it like over to you.
Yeah,
Sloshes a little bit.
and he'll sit down and just very very quietly, but still loud enough to be to still be heard. It's like, oh, what can I do for you?
Can you pass the sausages that were right there?
Look down at the sausages that I was not paying attention to at all up until you mentioned it. Oh, yes, I see. And he just slides it over.
Gary and Nancy are sweating. This is the most tense interaction they've ever witnessed here in Firsten.
And after like a
Priestons.
like a slight moment of awkward silence, he will actually turn and like look at Addie for the first time, actually like fully looking at somebody in this room. And before he like pulls back his hood to like reveal, like his face without being all shaded and mysterious and stuff. And he'll say, I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
What did you say yours was?
He'll hold out his hand, Talith.
Addie.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to intrude. I find myself as a practitioner of the arcane arts. You have a very strange aura about you. I don't mean that as like an insult or anything. I don't think I've ever met somebody like you.
I'm not interested, if that's what you're trying to say.
No, that's not at all what I'm trying to say.
Yo.
It is 8 a.m.
Could I,
man.
Aaron, would you allow
Yeah.
me to take just a minute here and ritually cast Detect Magic?
If you had a minute, yes.
Oh, okay,
Could
lovely.
I have everyone's passive arcana, which would
17.
be 10 plus your arcana modifier. It's just your intelligence if
9.
if you do not have that. A strong 9. A strong 9. from Addie.
Good. I got a stronger 10.
Ooh, even better.
I somehow have a strong 13.
Hey.
I'm glad we didn't roll because I didn't get my dice
Here
out
comes
yet.
the high roller.
17.
17. I will state specifically. I will also take. Can I have the two of you that aren't Talith and Medora? Can I have you roll? No, not roll. I need another passive from you. This one I want to be a passive. Oh God, no! Intimidation is wrong. Just tell me what your insight
Passive
bonus
athletics. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Passive athletics
what is
sounds
your
great.
passive insight?
10.
Even better.
Passive insight.
Mhm.
Oh, 12.
Awesome. This is so perfect. So the four of you all sense different things, all at the
Lovely.
same time,
I love
but
it.
in slightly different orders.
I was just about to ask for a sausage.
You absolutely, you say, "Can I have a?" And then
Hey, I heard there was some sausage, and then
Yeah,
an
it's a bit-
explosion, or whatever happened.
Talith and Medora, you get a tug in your gut that you know means that a spell has just been cast in the nearby vicinity, and it's a big one.
Oh boy.
Shortly following that, the kind of two more instinctive of you in the order of first Bear and then Addie, get a feeling of when you know, if for Leslie, it would be the feeling of knowing that someone has scoped in on you.
Oh no.
For Addie, it's as though you know that someone has drawn a knife, but you're not sure who.
I draw my knife.
I draw my
Whoa, look,
gun.
I'm not trying to do that right
Hold
now.
on.
You all go to, well, correction, the two straight up fighters go to grab their weapons as basically an explosion on the far wall of the.
It was an explosion.
It is an explosion. Rocks you. Could I have everyone make a dexterity saving throw?
I would love
I knew
nothing
something
more,
was
DM.
wrong.
Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good.
Let's see. Should we use the snake die
better.
or the arcana?
That's better.
It's so mid.
14.
14.
14.
14.
Let's go. Let's
We
go.
should not have gone with the
Let's
snake
go.
die.
See, Grant, you're used to being like level 20, where 14 is like not very good. You guys are level 1, so 14 is like, oh, okay.
14 was good for Edward at 20, bro.
Well,
I'd like
You are right.
I'd like to use my movement if I can, like whatever we have, if I can help Nancy duck under the table.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, what do I do?
I'm
rolled
gonna
an- I
run
rolled
over
an-
the table because she's on the other side.
I rolled an 8 DM.
Okay, a strong 8. My favorite number.
Uh-huh.
How you doing, Medora?
I rolled a 3.
Hey,
May
that's
I
pretty bad.
attempt to
So bad.
But,
May I
but DM,
attempt to, like,
it's higher than a 2. Come on.
Y'all put that gree on my dice.
May I attempt
swear.
to turn over a table when I like instantly when I see something is wrong to maybe help Medora a bit from like covering the blow?
That's a really cool thought, Grant.
Okay.
So anyway,
It was
don't
worth
worry.
a try, Medora. It was worth a try. It's a
for
14,
those of you,
know?
for those of you who succeeded, no damage will be dealt. Specifically, Medora and Talith, the DC was a 10.
Oof.
You take a whole 1 piercing damage. Devastating, I know. As this is an explosion of fire or anything, it's pure force as the back wall is just launched basically at you. So you get a bunch of bits of glass and stone kind of fleck across your face and cause a couple of cuts and stuff like that. Leslie, you do manage to basically flip up a table as a shield as the wood slams into it. Oh gosh. Addie, I just blanked so hard on your name right there. Holy cow. Addie, you grab Nancy and almost pull her under the table along with Gary. Just you just throw this elderly woman.
Sorry. Floor. Like grab her by the shirt, like in the back, and just like throw her to the floor.
She's dealt more damage than if she just would have gotten hit by the shrapnel. You
like-
kill an old
she, like-
woman.
She like slides, and you see like chairs and tables like fall over.
I really hope that Addie continues to help people by purposefully putting them in the hospital.
I like this.
It's better than in a grave. Better than in a grave.
Yes. You kind of all peek out from behind and wipe the glass shards out of your eyes, to see standing silhouetted by the still rising sun, in this crater that was once the back wall of the first inn, standing at about 8 to 10 feet tall, somewhere in that range, in gilded copper and steel. You see bits of non-human flesh interlaced between these interlocking metal parts. 2 giant arms, thick, heavy chest plate. But where a head should be on this basically mobile suit of armor is just a massive eye. As before you stands a Marut, which is basically the divine constable of the Modrons. This is the creature that they send to track down criminals and bring them with them forcibly to trial.
Do we know what these are?
You absolutely know what a Marut
throw a knife.
is. It is the greatest fear that you guys have currently at the moment. Addy, you throw a knife. Can you please make an attack roll?
Well, it was nice knowing you, Medora, but I think it's about time that I hightail it out of here.
This tall woman done messed up my chances of living.
19.
A 19. You launch your knife as you hear from, there is no mouth on the Marut, but you hear a voice that emanates from within that says, "Commence elimination." You launch your knife perfectly on target towards this thing, as futile as you know as it will be. The Marut raises its fist, and your knife stops in midair.
Time to go, guys. Let's go. Everyone out right now. Time to go.
Same thing. Come on,
About 2 inches
Yep.
from the Marut's
I
chest.
try to grab Talith. I'm just like, all right, skinny boy, let's go. I just
Over your shoulder.
Yeah. This also short woman tries to pick up this dude.
I would like to DM as we are sort of getting up and moving away. I'd like to very menacingly stand there as I back up with my gun pointed at the Marut, and I'd like to attempt to intimidate it enough to prevent it from like advancing towards us.
You notice that the Marut is not moving.
Yeah, you stay there. You stay there.
The Marut
you don't move.
fist is raised, ready to pummel the nearest thing to it. You see off to the side, Gary is also not moving. His face locked in expression of terror and fear
Gary?
as he gazes at this thing. And then you notice lying under a pile of rubble that was certainly not there until Addie threw her at it. Nancy is not there. It is not moving. She's kind of holding her head, but in mid blink, one eye partially open, the other one closed, completely frozen.
Is this some kind of magic? Some kind of mind magic?
Is
I
this some
don't
kind
like
of
this
magic?
Gregory.
Behind you, you hear the door, the little bell tinkle as it opens.
Hello?
Walking through the door is kind of a strange, kind of lanky human figure. He looks, he kind of gives off Gandalf vibes, where like he's a little too tall for a normal human being. He has a long white beard where the ends are tied in little tufts that just kind of spring up sporadically. He has a massive monocle that enlarges one eye and a crooked and bent top hat. And he walks through with these long, spindly fingers wrapping around a staff, which on top of it has a clock that appears to be ticking slower than it should be.
Whoa, welcome to the first inn.
He says, "When I say
good Siraz. It seems that you found yourself in quite a pickle.
There's more than a pickle.
Yeah, it's a whole patch of pickles.
Well, I'm sure that further introductions can be done at a later time. First off, I should say, hello. My name is J.R. Collins, watchmaker, entrepreneur, and the greatest chronomancer in all of time.
Yes.
I have before you two options. One, you can stay here with the rather angry constable and the rather upset man who appears to be wearing a cowboy hat outside. Or you could come with me and face perhaps even more terrible things.
Now, I don't know y'all that well, but I think I'm going to go with Top Hat Man. Only time I like a Top Hat Man.
Very well, I shall open the gate here.
And he slams his staff into the ground. You see when he does, the clock begins to tick a little bit faster and actually starts to smoke a bit as a kind of shimmering portal breaks open through the air. And it's hard to exactly see what is past it, as there's kind of a shimmering blue sheen that really stops your vision.
But he says, well, come along now. I'd say that we have a strong 20 seconds before the big fellow wakes up.
Will I be able to come back? I can't leave again.
In time, my friend, all things return to where they should be.
All right. Well, it beats getting incarcerated by the Modrons. So I guess I'll come too.
I'm gonna grab my knife that's floating in the
Pluck it
air,
out of thin air.
grab it, and I'm just gonna walk through.
DM, question.
Yes. I have answers.
Sir J.R. Collins mentioned a man in a hat outside.
Yeah.
Can I, like, peek around and, like, see, like, who the heck is he referring to?
Can you roll a dexterity check?
Sure, yeah, but love nothing more. That'd be a 1.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Drew! On the first
you
episode,
start to head towards the window, trip over a chair just for a second. He says,
Well, come along. You only have 5 more seconds before the portal closes.
I can't believe I let this boy down off my shoulder.
He just kind of grabs you by the scruff and just tosses you through the portal as he waves the rest of you on.
That's fair.
And then enters in. The dexterity check was to see if you had time.
The answer was no.
I cautiously step in after.
you
I'm
did
just
not.
like, all right.
Absolutely. All 4 of you enter into the portal behind the mysterious J.R. Collins, and step into somewhere that you have never seen. The entire ground is one massive clock face. You actually step onto the hour hand, kind of this long pathway that leads to a castle that from a distance looks to be entirely made of grandfather clocks. Just these massive towers with like long hanging bells that swing and ring, all sorts of different noises that are keeping track of times that you have no knowledge of where that would be related to. As J.R. Collins steps in behind you, the portal closes and the clock melts off of his staff, apparently having run out of time to function.
And he says, well, come along now into the sanctum of time.
And he leads you towards the towers. Before you guys follow along behind him, I want to take a very brief moment to keep our camera on the room in the first inn. As time unfreezes, Gary and Nancy also unfreeze along with it. And the Merit readies his blow, very confused as to where his targets went. And the door bursts open, kicked by a man clad in almost all black. Spurs on his boots and a black cowboy hat hanging low on his head with a 6-shooter on his hip, or to the regular people here, a very strange looking wand. And he says, order. Omega Lambda 5, stand down. And the merit immediately halts as the strange figure puts up a single black gloved hand. And he says, orders, you're dismissed. And the merit teleports away. From behind him, you see a young girl covered in scratches and scrapes, who still has marks on her wrist from being tied up, as apparently this man has brought back Lucy. And he says, damn it. I thought he'd be here. Guess I'll keep looking. And the camera will move back to the rest of you as you, I assume, enter the Sanctum of Time following J.R. Collins. Within the Sanctum, things are weird. There are staircases that are upside down, way too many clocks. The ticking is almost unbearable. And overall, it just seems as though you're walking far more distance than you are actually traveling. You keep passing rooms and hallways that you swear shouldn't be there, as J.R. Collins walks ahead of you with confidence in his stride. It is an awkward silence that you can choose to break if you would like. If not, we can just continue on.
Well, this is a not so great way to meet each other. How about that? I'll start with beer, huh?
I'll start with beer and eggs and hey, time guy. Yeah.
You can call me Sir J.R. Collins.
All right, Sir J.R. Collins. Thank you very much for getting us out of that situation. I would like to ask, will we be able to find our way out of here?
Oh, my good friend. Yes, of course, I will show you the way out.
Also, where are we? Because I'm half expecting me to wake up from a dream again. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell what's real or not.
My
Pretty
good
sure this
friend,
one's real. I'm not
I can
gonna
assure
lie.
you, your
It's
senses
real?
are correct, madame. This is most certainly real.
Hold up your fingers. Hold them up. Everybody, please. Everybody's got 10. You telleth. I need to see them.
Show the hands.
Everyone's got 10 fingers. All
I
right,
don't-
well, this must be
if-
real.
If someone had lost a finger, would that...
They'll have more fingers, okay, Father Time? Or whatever, whoever you are.
Father Time. It's Sir J.R. Collins, bear boy, whoever you are. Get it
I'm sorry.
right.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
You gotta respect your elders.
hard to
Sorry,
think
sir.
with all
Respect
the
your
time.
elders.
It's hard to think with all this ticking.
I mean, wow. That is
sorry.
quite... Honestly, I might go by that for a couple millennia. I'm sure that'll start some trends.
DM.
Yes, Dallas, you seem to have a question.
So, have I ever heard of Sir J.R. Collins?
I am so glad you asked. Could you please roll me a history check with advantage?
I would love nothing more, DM.
Whoa.
Drew is rolling dice. It's my favorite part of the paper dungeon.
17.
17. Yes, absolutely. J.R. Collins is, even in the outer realms, J.R. Collins is a myth. J.R. Collins has long standing been basically the number one bounty of the Modrons. There are few people, Talith, that can rival your bounty numbers. He smashes yours out of the park. J.R. Collins doesn't have a lot of crimes to his name. The main one is temporal distortion. Basically, J.R. Collins shows up wherever he wants, whenever he wants, quite literally whenever. He has been known to change history. Theoretically, no one can prove that he changed history. But if J.R. Collins is there, that means that something could have been different before he showed up. And only J.R. Collins would know. That's the problem with time wizards is you can't tell if they're changing history, because if they change history, you wouldn't know that it was different in the first place. So the Modrons assume that he is responsible for most things. He is not believed to be real, honestly. So this is a great time. I don't know if it's meeting your heroes or meeting your villains,
Well,
but it's certainly meeting someone important.
yeah, it's fine. You know, it's something that we can relate to, not being somebody that exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird thing to say.
Well, he didn't say it out loud. It's fine.
This is me reacting. What?
And I will
The
say
whole chat
that probably
is
this
like-
whole time, like Talith has probably like been the one who's laid back the most. Meanwhile, Talith is laid back the most. Meanwhile, Melody is like just like happily flying around like everyone, like just dancing
Melody-
between everybody.
Melody has found one of those clocks that, like, whenever it rings on the hour, it like sends out the little robotic bird.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cuckoo
the cuckoo
clock.
clock.
Except it is always on the hour. This clock never moves away from the hour, so the bird is constantly out and cheeping, and Melody is just cheeping back at it.
Yep.
And
And
of just excited to be here, you know?
yeah, and as they're walking, like being in just such a magic like centric realm, just this place being, I assume this is Drew talking. I assume it's made out of magic.
Yes.
His like he's just like running his hand, like almost as if he's running his hand against a wall, even though like there's not actually a wall right there where his hand is. As he's just running his hand along the weave, just interspersed within this whole sanctum. Just almost like in awe.
As you guys head down these seemingly endless passageways and rooms, and he says,
Now, I am certain that you all are wondering why exactly I have brought you to the sanctum of time. Time.
Why are you
He makes
saying
the
that?
time noise
Yes.
himself. It isn't an echo.
He says, it's for dramatic effect, my dear.
And it works. It works.
Thank you. I have worked very hard on my echo.
I'm too tired for this.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure this will wake you up, my dear. To explain it shorthand, existence is going to end. End.
Can you not?
Can you elaborate on that, good sir?
No.
Please.
Not because I don't want to. For if I knew why existence was going to end, I would simply stop that. Let me explain.
And you have now found yourself in a massive room. You don't even realize walking into you thought you were in the hallways still. Basically, you are in the middle of what kind of feels like the inside of a globe. And as he plants his staff in the center, you see rings show up around you and begin to rotate with these little balls on the rings.
Ooh.
This is a scale model of the Outer Realms.
He said it. He said the name of the show.
Good job, Grant.
Good job.
For a little bit of exposition for all of you out there who are new to the stream, which should be everyone. J.R. Collins, oh man, I'm blinking hard tonight. J.R. Collins will actually provide this exposition. And he says,
Long ago, there was nothing but law and chaos.
and the rings will disappear from view and instead replaced with two floating, colliding energies. Whoosh. Thanks for the sound effects, Grant.
You're welcome.
From chaos was born physical form, the great goddess of creation, Lonantari.
From the roiling chaos with the room around you, a figure appears, kind of a caricature almost of the goddess.
And by her will and voice, she created Nikomiris.
A single pin drop of light appears in the center of the room.
But, unbeknownst to her power had ripples, energy, spreading out and out from this center, creating cracked and twisted mirrors of her perfect creation.
As it goes out, those rings around you reform, and little dots appear on them to represent the different sectors.
Now, of course, in order to mimic chaos, law found its own form, the Modrons, and together, as you well know, they decided the Modrons would take charge of these accidents, while Lanantari would deal with her perfect creation. Now, at times, all of creation, something real bad happens. Real bad. Most of the time, I show up and stop it. You're welcome. You're welcome. I know. Very impressive. You don't have to thank me.
How do you define bad?
Well, that's a fantastic question. At one point in time, literally a point of time, that's a joke, I'm a chronomancer. On the planet Baron, there existed a great entity of fire that woke up unexpectedly. No one saw it coming except for me. And had he been permitted to expand his influence across the plains, all of existence would have been bathed in a great wash of fire. It would have scorched all living creatures until nothing remained but ash and dust.
And how did you stop that?
Well, I made the planet Baron bigger, so it was harder for him to leave, and then he got tired and he fell back asleep.
You made a planet bigger?
I am a wizard. Magic is crazy.
Wow.
This guy knows what I'm talking about.
He points at Talith.
It's actually like a lesser feat of like when you read the arcane grimoires of like stuff that people have done.
Yeah, it's crazy. Don't even get me started on the queens. Anyway, back to the point at hand. Existence is coming to an end.
The realms will fade away.
End.
You just get on with it.
I'm sorry, it's good time.
I like it.
Normally, I can see not all future's a tricky thing. Future kind of happens, comes and goes. I can peer into the future and see fragmented images of what is to come. At some point in time, in the next... I'm proud of you. Good job laughing. Chronomancer. We've got a chronomancer and he's rising up. It just goes dark. There's no more vision of the future. No, even when the whole planet Baron thing happened, I could see like ash. Nothing. It's all gone. It is as though there is no future at a certain point in time. Now, I don't know what causes that. I'm not going to lie. But imagine a jigsaw puzzle without the box, no cover to look at. You're just given the pieces. Eventually, if you match the pieces up together, you're able to get a general sense of what the picture looks like. And even more than that, let's say you get to the end of that puzzle and you're missing a piece. That one piece could drastically change what the image appears to be from your point of view. And thankfully, because the puzzle is as complete as it can be, you know exactly what the piece must look like. You four are that piece, so to speak. I know
Us
nothing.
four.
Us, you four. I really thought there was going to be 5. But I was wrong. Turns out I didn't know the piece as well as I thought I did.
So you're saying that by finding us, it's giving you a better idea of what's happening in the future when there's nothing?
I still have no idea what causes it.
Oh, great.
Let me change my game analogy. Imagine dominoes of increasing size.
I like dominoes.
You have a small domino at the start and a very big domino at the end. But somewhere in the middle, you're missing a domino of the correct size and shape. You know what size and weight this domino needs to knock over the next domino. You, 4, are that domino. I know not what you will do in the future, but I do know that if I take you 4 and drop you in a very specific place at a very specific time, that your future actions will, theoretically, prevent the end of existence. Existence.
Where are we
And-
going?
Good question. Follow up real quick. How do we know that you're not trying to make the end happen? And we're the
true.
ones that make the end happen. How can we trust you? I'm sorry, but
I like Bear's questions. I like them. Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, I wish I could just trust you, but we're in a weird time dimension, and
Yeah.
that's a little bit suspicious, if you ask me.
I should have seen this coming, specifically from you. But you know, I didn't. And truth be told, I have no idea how to prove to all 4 of you that I am not, in fact, the one trying to cause the end, and instead am trying to prevent the end.
Who's trying to cause it? How about
I
that?
wish it... Honey, trust me, if I knew who was trying to cause this, gone. They would be gone so fast. I would send them to the dawn of time, where they would be ripped apart by the flying energies of the goddess of creation, birthed from the roiling mass of chaos that lies in the center of an empty nothingness, surrounded by nothing but the dreams of dying gods.
Okay.
Trust me, they would be there so fast.
All right. Where are we going then?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you haven't offered any information as to what you want us to do. Thank you for saving us. That's
you're
great.
welcome. You're so welcome.
Not that we needed it, obviously, but thank you.
You seem to have it handled very well, actually.
Did.
That knife, though, perfection.
Thank you.
Well, this is
It
what
was
I'll
quite
say.
good. It was quite good.
I know that all of you have problems, so to speak. So the thing is, it doesn't really matter what you do. I don't know why you are the piece that fits in the puzzle. I don't know why you are the domino. I simply know that you fit in the space. So theoretically, regardless of the actions that you take while placed into that space, you will fill the role provided necessary to prevent the end of everything. I know that you have problems, that you have desires, that you have goals and interests that you are trying to complete. And it may be that the thing that you are needed to do to save the world, to save all worlds, is to go your own separate ways. Once you are set down, it may be that you are destined to die. Although destiny is a tricky thing, but perhaps death is what existence needs. Perhaps it is not even you 4. It is that you 4 will find a different group of an indeterminate number, and that group will be the one that saves the world. I have no idea. Frankly, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. This has never happened before. I've never not been able to see the end of what's going on.
Okay,
This is,
okay.
I'm a little weirded out myself.
You make a good point. I mean, I don't know what kind of problems you all have, but they found me. I can't go back to where we were. In fact, I kind of don't have anywhere to go. So I don't know if I believe all this hubbubaloo, but I do think that it's better than going back, whatever it is. I guess I'll go wherever you put me, but I can't promise I'm going to do anything that you want me to do. You know?
Still love to know where that is.
Yes, we'll get that in due time. Please follow me through the room of memories.
Well, are you guys coming?
I mean, it feels like we're chasing a headless rooster, but sure.
There is no other way out of of this place, so whatever you decide, it's kind of already done.
I'm gonna follow Top Hat Man because he knows this place better than I do. So I'm
Better than anyone.
let's go.
Hate magic.
How about you, wizard? Not you, wizard. The other
What?
one. No, not you. What about you? You coming along?
Talith just kind of looks around. He looks at like the magical wall that is inevitably behind them, preventing him from turning around and going backwards. And he just starts walking.
All right.
Fantastic. The next room that you head through, I would just like everyone to make investigation check as you just scan the area.
All right, we'll do a little bit of scanning.
9. Same as my passive.
Woo!
Let's go.
That's a 99 if you put them together.
There you go. Hey, yeah, 99. That sounds great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Thanks, DM. Thank
Yeah,
you.
really hitting Addie with a bunch of mental checks. Exactly what she was built for.
Just what I need. Let's
Investigation of 9 from Addie. Grant.
Natural 1.
Okay, we've gotten worse.
Second one of the first
oh,
episode.
man, we've
out of
missed
what,
this.
5 rolls, maybe?
We are cruising.
So it seems nothing has
I've gone
changed from
bright red.
campaign 1.
Nothing.
Drew, how we
I
sitting?
rolled a 17.
17. And of course, Jar Jar, how we living?
I rolled a lovely 14.
Fantastic. I will start with Drew. Drew, all of you actually walk into this room that is basically filled with a bunch of crystal balls hanging from the ceiling, set on shelves, rolling across the ground. And upon closer observation, you see images flashing through them. Talith, you in particular get almost a hunger as you recognize that all of these are memories of people, of events that have happened, and some of them are memories that haven't happened yet. Your eye catches on one in specific that shows a village on fire of bandits running through and hunting and pillaging survivors of this village. You see flashes of a knight clad in silver armor with a flashing steel weapon, a javelin or a pike of some sort in his hand. And you see blood dripping from the corners of his mouth as he lies by the side of a fire with a dagger in his back. Medora, you see these things too. Your sense of them is a little different from Talith's because you are not as connected to the weave, but you do sense that these are real memories from real people. They have soul connected to them. Memories are inherently linked to the soul in some ways. Your eyes latch onto one that confuses you because it is not in color. You see a world entirely in monochrome, in black and white, in grayscale, that's the term, of a fallen city in a lot of ways. People go about their daily lives, but you can sense an underlying tone of fear as they know that on the edge of this city, on the edge of where they live, there is a place that once entered, you do not return. And that edge is creeping ever closer. A woman sits high atop a lighthouse, gazing out at this wall of fog. And in her lap sits a smaller child, a girl. And her eyes are the only things that are in color in this memory. And they flash almost an iridescent violet for just a brief second. Addie, you're next. You're kind of looking around, hating magic and all that.
I'm here.
You see an image that catches your eye of bloodshed, of devastation, of pain and hurt. To you, it's less seeing the orb. You can almost feel the raw emotion emanating from it. It is nothing but anguish and loss and hatred at someone. But you can't tell who. Because the person that this hatred is directed at has already died. And there's nowhere else for it to go. Finally, Mr. Leslie Bear, you look around the room. Your eyes land on various things. You're like, ooh, pretty pictures. Finally, you settle on one. One that appears to be a little bit strange. You also get a feeling of emotions. Or at least where there should be emotions. They're there, but strangely muted as you look at this memory staring down at the face of a child, a newborn baby. And then one clear emotion rises to the surface of this memory. Disappointment. You cross the hall, this hall of memories, and exit into a simple room that has just a doorway. A simple wooden doorway that doesn't even appear to have a functioning door. There is a door, but it doesn't have a knob. And J.R. Collins looks at you and says,
"Now, my dear friends, this is the door to your next destination. I do have a gift, some parting words of advice. If you don't mind." He will take out kind of a bronze stopwatch, pocket watch kind of deal. Has a couple of bits and bobs off to the side of it, and he says, "This little contraption will shield your presences and your identities from low-ranking Modrons, allowing you to travel relatively freely among the realms, assuming that you do not cause too much trouble and summon probably anything above the rank of a Tridrone to you. Tridrone could maybe. Duodrone's not a chance. So as long as you are within relatively the same general area of each other, whoever is carrying this pocket watch," he looks at you, Addie, and he says, "I'm going to entrust this to you as a sign of trust and a bond that I'm sure that we do not have, but one day perhaps you may look at this watch and think of me fondly, and not with a desire to stab me multiple times." And
Magic?
he will... What? Is
Is it
is the watch magic. It itself is inherently magic. Don't worry, my dear. I know of your affliction. It shall not require any fancy, any channeling from you yourself. It will simply shield you from the eyes. Well, the Modron eyes. The watching gaze of the Modrons. I expect you will be getting in probably more trouble than the other three, so it might be best that you are the prime one with it on you. If not, I suppose I could give it to the wizard.
Fine.
Very good. He holds out the pocket watch to you.
Oh. Quick reflexes. My goodness. That's all the knife throwing, everybody. Now, a few parting words before I send you on your way. A few prophecies. I have no idea whether or not they are truly accurate. First off, spring shall bring you great boon.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'll take it, I guess.
Beware the crimson Pisces.
Beware the crimson Pisces?
Yes.
Like the astrology sign?
Perhaps.
All right.
And finally, do not ingest seafood that has been here for more than 2 weeks.
All right. Well, that's just something that everybody knows, right?
Is it?
Well, maybe not everybody, I guess, now that you ask. But are you just making these up?
No, not at all. I have
I'll write
seen
it
them in the
down.
stars.
I'll write it down.
Now, I must wish you very good luck. Stay together or don't, whatever you choose. I'm sure it will prevent the end of all existence. I'm excited to see your journeys and travels and how they affect the ever-flowing stream of time that I bear witness to on a daily basis.
Thank you. Can we get out of here now? I'm going crazy with all this ticking.
And the door, the doorway will swing open to another one of those blue barriers that shimmers and kind of distorts your vision.
It says, "Go now, children of the sands of time! Send yourself onto the realms so that the end may be prevented."
Oh my God. All right.
He's sweating like blood. Like he's like chanting into the you all head through this door. Immediately the tone changes. The ticking stops. And you hear some really nice kind of jingly elevator music, a little jazzy, as you hear the rumble of steel on steel. As you step into one of the upper class cabins aboard the Dream Train. The Dream Train is the main mode of transportation among the realms. Its existence was a collaboration between several different sectors. Basically, it exists everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. It is simultaneously present at all stops, on all different sectors, and also it isn't. It moves like a dream. It's entirely random as to whether or not it will be on time, but it is always on time. The upper class, kind of first class cabins are way out of your price range. You have never been in the first class cabins, and judging by the sound of the train, you would know that you're maybe only 1 or 2 cabins away from the engine room. Yes.
Have all of our characters been in the Dream Train? Do all of us know what the Dream Train is?
Yes, you have been in the lower class areas of the Dream Train, which is basically just cargo holds.
Okay.
That are pretty cheap and accessible for common folk and criminals to access. I'm noticing a question, Jar Jar, that you may have.
Well, I was gonna say, I guess I don't know if it'd be like an actual check if I need to, if it has to be passive. But if I can just like check my extra pockets or anywhere just in case, like for a ticket, so that you don't
absolutely.
get
You don't even need to check for this. You do find a unlimited first class ticket in each of your pockets.
Y'all see what I'm saying?
I'm still trying to comprehend what just happened. Did you see that man? He was sweating blood.
Do you see this ticket? This ticket.
What does it say? What is this? Oh, I got one too.
Unlimited first class with bottle service.
With bottle service. Is this real?
Yeah, they are in a thing. You can hold them up to. It's kind of like if you've ever seen the Polar Express. That kind of ticket. You hold it up. It kind of changes in the light. Sure enough, it is an unlimited first class ticket to the Dream Train. Giving you unlimited access to the upper cars. It does come with bottle service and a free check-on.
Nice.
All services included. And as you're kind of examining your tickets, you hear a clanking metallic sound of footsteps behind you. As walking down the aisle comes kind of the concierge of the Dream Train, an automatron.
Everyone act natural. Everyone act natural. We're all supposed to be here. We all know where we're going. Hello.
Elf just sits down and opens up a book and starts reading.
Oh, great job. Great job, Tail.
Wow, he's so good at acting natural. The automatron walks up, almost butler-esque. An automatron is the absolute lowest rank of Modron. Modrons realized that they were terrifying because people kept running away from them when they kept trying to ask for their passports. So this is their attempt at making something that is more user-friendly for people that aren't Modrons. Automatrons are medium-sized creatures made entirely of that kind of bronze and gold. You can only see a little bit of that non-human flesh interlaced between the parts. And instead of a head, there is still just a giant eyeball. Their attempts to create something that is not disconcerting did not work very well, but it is better than like a 12-foot tall cube made of machine and flesh. And it walks over and it says, "Hello, passengers on the Dream Train."
Yes, that is us. We are passaging on the Dream Train.
Could I please examine your tickets? Fair warning, those without a ticket will be cast into the endless dream outside the train.
Well, you'll be happy to know we all got our tickets, right? Here you go.
It kind of jitteringly reaches out and grabs a ticket and pulls and looks at it, scans it, hands it back to you, and does that for each one of you. And it says, "Now, an obligatory check of your identities to match to the sector-wide crime database." It looks at each of you, and you see it like for a moment, its eye starts to turn red just at the edges, and then it like twitches. Ding! And the eye kind of glows a bluish green. It says, "Identities unconfirmed. Moving on." And it just walks directly past you into the next car.
Hey.
Well,
Hey, it must
at
be
least
that
we know
pocket.
that the
Bon.
pocket watch works.
It worked.
That's c'est bon.
Oh, I thought we were toast for sure. I'd never had one of those just turn away like that.
I don't know.
We all like
I
it so
think we could have taken
natural.
it.
So, Addie, I guess you better keep that watch, hey?
Yeah, I love having a magic pocket watch in my pocket. It
You're
makes
not-
me feel so safe. I love this.
I can tell.
I mean, I think any of us could take the watch if you don't want to have the watch.
I think this woman is strong enough to hold her bearings. Now, Sheriff Shatan, it's gonna be okay. Just keep it in your pocket, keep a smile on your face. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Now,
This
who
works.
wants to get some drinks?
That's what I'm talking about. I like a style of a drink.
Oh my god.
Bottle service is wheeled past. They know that you are in the upper class. You have your tickets. You can order whatever you would like from the cart. Yes, Talith, I see you putting the Drew finger up.
Talith is not going to have a drink, but he will sit next to the window and slightly crack it just a little bit as he then pulls out what looks like a smoke pipe, and which has like for those who pay close enough attention, you could see just ever so slightly carved into the pipe seems to be some sort of arcane runes. And he pulls from his bag what looks like a sort of like some sort of pearl or marble that has like this ever-changing, almost green, turquoise, almost like fog, just shifting and moving, and ever so faintly like taking form into certain like images or shapes. And he just takes the marble and puts it into the end of the smoke pipe, and then begins to just ever so faintly glow with kind of this greenish blue arcane energy, and just a little tiny little wisp of smoke as he begins to smoke his pipe. And DM, I'm going to consume a memory bead to
Go for it.
Whoa.
regain my missing hit point.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So your cabin mate lights up a doobie.
Takes the edge off.
Yep, absolutely. Look, it's
memory
been a
doobie.
stressful day, bro.
DM, this is
yeah,
first
absolutely.
class. Is there like enough room in the seat for all of us to sit? Is there like a table? Like,
Yes, absolutely. There you can. It is. You have plenty of room. It is not like you're packed into these seats. You also know that they all have the capability to recline into a full-sized bed, so you
Wow.
could fully extend and lay down. Basically, these chairs are the perfect chairs. If you want them to do something that involves something that a chair might be able to do, the chair can do it.
okay.
They're very over-engineered. They come with cup holders, seat belts, a PS4.
Nice. A little outdated.
Only a PS4 though, not a PS5.
Look,
It's
they
public
haven't
transportation.
updated these trains. The PS5 doesn't even have any games. It's
Yeah,
fine.
fair. So we all order our drinks. I would love to know what all you order. Bear gets a. I'm tempted to say Malibu and pineapple juice, but I think he actually goes with an old fashioned.
That is very, very Leslie coded.
Yes. Now, I think since we're all going to be traveling together, it'd be good if we had just a little bit of introduction. You can share as little or as much as you'd like. Clearly, all of us are people who would rather not share everything about ourselves with the people around us. So I guess I'll start. I'll break the ice. I'm Bear. I was a logger, and back in the day, I was involved in some things that the Modrons might be interested in finding the person who was involved in it, I guess is how I'll say that. So I've been living on Nico Muris quietly for some time, and I've loved it. And I got my horse Bessie, and I got my little shack, and I've chopped down trees, and I sell them. And I love my life, and I very much like to go back sometime and keep living that life and not get involved in any of this craziness again. So that is me. Moving on. And whoever's to my left,
Grant playing an adventurer who doesn't want to be an adventurer for the second time.
oh, who could have seen it coming?
I'm going to assume, to make it the most awkward, to your left is Addie.
Yes. Yes. We'll go on.
I don't really know what you want me to say. I'm Addie, And
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. And I don't want to be here. That's it.
Can I just say this image of specifically Gracie with the arms crossed and the hair is giving very like 2010 Mean Girls. Like 2010s. I don't want to be here. It's great.
Like in detention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm different and cool. I don't deserve to. It's oh my goodness, it's giving lemonade mouth.
Wow.
Gosh, a blast from the past.
No, she's just drinking water right now.
Water on the rocks.
Just no
no
rocks.
God, it's
Oh, no
Neat.
ice.
Water neat.
That's
water
chaotic.
neat.
Water
What an
neat.
order.
There you go. Listen, I don't really know what I mean. With all due respect, I don't know any of you guys. But I guess if the bots are after you too, you're either really bad or really good at what you do. So that's cool, I guess.
Or a bit of both.
Or I mean, it could be I guess a bit of both.
You know, they say an enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I guess for the time being, until we have a reason to believe otherwise, we can act like friends. How about that?
Fine. What do you want to know?
I mean, I think it'd be helpful for all of us to know a little bit about why the Modrons are after us. I mean, I want to have your all backs. You know, if all you can give me is they're after you and you don't want them to know who you are, that's fine. But otherwise, it'd be helpful. I would think. Maybe not. I take a hefty sip of my old fashioned.
It's a long draw. Your eyes were so huge.
They don't like what I do for a living. How about that?
What do you do?
She's giving you the really bad look, man.
Why are
I
they
don't
after you? What were you involved with? See? Some questions don't need to be answered.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She
I
leans
agree.
back and closes her eyes.
Ooh, the classic train ride move. Yeah, you two sitting across the table.
Moving clockwise.
Yeah, I suppose Medora would be next across the table.
I'll say before I start, while like Addie's kind of closing her eyes, I really quickly just go like, psst, hey, really quick thing. I can tell that your head's hurting still. And I take out like this little bottle. It has like an orange powder in it. And I'm like, I think this will help you. And I calmly just like push it onto the like, I guess like there's like a table like
There's
we're
a
sitting around
lazy
it.
Susan in the middle
Okay.
that you can very easily set it and spin so that the vial ends up in front of whoever you
Yeah,
want.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put the little orange thing, like orange powder in there, and just turn it. And I'm like, just put it in your water. It'll fully dissolve. You just looking like you got some gree on you, and I think you'll feel better with a little sprinkle of that.
Just lack of sleep. But thank you.
No problem.
Are you offering that to Addie or are you offering that to Bear?
I'm offering it to Addie.
Okay, good. That's great to know. Because my head hurt a little bit earlier, so I was just double checking. That
Oh,
was
I
good.
forgot, Bear. I forgot. You know what? I got something else for you because you got a different kind of mojo on you that I don't know if I feel right with. And I also I almost have like this little like satchel thing on like, I pull up my skirt and it's like a satchel on my leg. I pull out another one. I'm like, this'll do. And it's like a gray powder instead. I'm like, here you go. This should help. Don't know. You might hallucinate. You might sleep.
That's called a freebie where I'm from.
Can I'm sorry. I usually just try to stick with whole foods and liquor.
Oh, it's natural. It's 100% natural. Like, you will be fine.
Thank you. I turn and I pretend to put it in my drink, but DM, I will tuck this in my jacket and I will save this for later.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand.
Ooh, oh boy.
Oh, shoot, sorry. Can I do a... Oh, shoot, what kind of check would it be to, like...
Oh god.
I'm trying to think of, like, which angle I'd be at to see if he actually puts it in his drink.
That'll depend on his sleight of hand check.
Well, I think you're gonna have no problem because I got a 4. I got a natural 2. I got a natural 2. These are different dice.
You
than last
definitely
campaign.
see him. It's like from your angle, you see him go. Like, it's very obvious. He then like throws the rest of the old fashioned behind him and just lands like just wet on the table. He's like, whoa.
Wow, takes the edge off. All right, thanks for that. Whoa,
Yep.
whoa, what's that? Sorry, I just saw something on the ceiling for a second. Must be hallucinogens.
Addie, would you like to know what's in the vial or no?
Yeah, I'd love to.
If you would like to roll either a nature or a medicine. I know that, man, we're just crushing it.
Medicine it is. That's a 4.
Orange. And it smells like oranges. So something probably orange related.
I'm just gonna smile at Medora and leave it on the table for now, and just leave it at that.
Fantastic. There has been an awkward silence as these two people have vials. That is interrupted shortly by you hear the intercom kind of crackles. Thanks for the sound effect, Grant. I knew that I could count on you. And a voice comes over and says, whose phone just buzzed? Did anyone else hear that?
It wasn't me, but I definitely heard it.
I heard it.
It sounded like this.
Yeah, that was it.
That was gold.
Guilty.
Of the intercom crackles and a voice comes over and says, howdy, y'all. This is your conductor, St. Clara. Just calling to tell you that we're on our way to our first stop. One of our many stops on this never-ending journey aboard the Dream Train, I should say. Our first stop, Ouroboros, is coming up in just a little while, or maybe never, or it could be right now. It's hard to tell. I should state we are having some minor technical difficulties, so you might feel a little bit of turbulence, which is kind of strange due to the fact that we're on a train. But it appears that the great elder beings beyond the wall of clarity may or may not be interfering a little bit with our train path right now. So hold on, it might get a little bit rough in the next 20 to 30 to maybe an hour, or until your impending demise. If you all happen to be carrying a weapon of any sort, I recommend taking it out on this moving vehicle in case you are attacked by strange beings that come from beyond the veil. Theoretically, we should have no problems. The train is definitely devised to protect itself against such encroaching threats, but it appears the shields are down for an unknown reason. I will be doing my best to fix them in the coming time, but you may be forced to fend for yourselves, assuming that I'm unable to get everything back up and running before we are noticed by whatever great sleeping creatures are awakened from their dreams at this very minute. Thank you very much for your patronage aboard the Dream Train, and I hope that your sleep is filled with happy thoughts, and you are able to defend yourself from the oncoming darkness. Thank you very much, and hopefully we will see you at your next stop, although I should also say, caveat to that, sorry this is going on for a little while, we may have to take a stop to repairs, assuming that we survive the night. Thank you very much. This has been St. Clara, conductor of this Dream Train, in this timeline, in this realm. Good luck.
Leslie
and
looks
the,
like...
Go
Addie
ahead.
keeps her hand hovered over her dagger, and her other hand over her sword, and goes back to sleep.
Did you have something else, DM?
No, I was just going to say that the intercom shuts off, and your peaceful ride continues.
Leslie looks like he's seen a ghost. He has sunk down into his seat. He has covered his face with one hand. This is what we're gonna do. I need you all to listen. Okay? We're gonna stay on this train. We're going to be quiet. If anybody walks by, we're gonna act like this isn't our stop. Okay?
We're
And-
getting off at Ouroboros.
No, we're not. You don't understand. We can't. I can't go there.
Yes, absolutely. What are you trying to insight?
I'm just trying to ascertain if perhaps Ouroboros is the place that Bear became wanted by the Bodron government. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Roll an insight check.
yeah,
Casual.
yeah, you know,
Is this the source of the problem?
Bear has a demeanor you have not seen yet.
I would like to solve the problem.
Natural 20.
He looks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Bear. I mean,
if it matters, for a total of 25 insight.
Deep within the eyes of this rugged man, his hair a little long, a little disheveled, shaded by the hat that hangs low on his head, you see fear. You see pain. You see tremors and a reminder of a man much younger than him. What am I even saying? You see flashes of gunpowder, of blades, of blood. And you see for a brief moment him wince and grab his chest. This is without a doubt a very, very important place to the man known as Bear that holds terrible memories of beautiful things. And yes, it is absolutely the place where he most became renowned by the Modrons.
all of a sudden you see his hardened gaze, his very serious, almost angry eyes. You see him soften his silhouette and slouch a bit and say in a more earnest tone, "Listen, I never thought that I'd be back. I don't know what's there. I don't know what's waiting for me. I don't think I can take that."
You have unfinished business there.
No, I don't, actually. My business is completely finished, and it was not a decision I made. It was made for me. You understand? If I go back there...
So you do
I
have
to...
unfinished business there.
No,
Okay.
this business
Okay.
is finished, okay? I can't... I'm not going back.
Hey, Bear. And I try to calmly place my hands on his shoulders.
Hey, woo, hey.
Yeah, he moves back.
But it's hey, we don't know what time big old top man hat put us in, okay? We don't know if this is in the future. We don't know if this is we don't know. So the thing is, the best thing that you can remember is that in this time, you will not be recognized. You will be a stranger to everyone.
You really think so?
I don't think so. I'm a little bit dumb when it comes to magic, but I feel that the magic, whatever's on that stopwatch that the little tall woman got over there, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. Okay, Mr. Bearman. I a hefty pat his shoulder, pow, pow, yeah.
Pat.
Well, I'm gonna need another drink if... I mean, I
That
hope-
powder should help.
You think so?
I know so.
But yeah, I mean, you saw that.
I'm not gonna lie. Your angle was not the best.
All right. Well,
He like covered up the way away from her.
yeah.
She could only see him.
But let's just say I'm pretty big when it comes to keeping herbs and things of health on me
Well,
because I care about health when I can.
At this point, I guess I'll take anything. And I put the powder in my drink. I swirled around it.
Oh, I think you put too much.
The whole thing.
Like levitating.
Well, let me tell you. At first, you're like, "Ooh, Earl Grey." Like, "Ooh, this is
boy.
neat." Then you realize that you put this into a glass of hard scotch because you already threw out the old fashioned.
Yeah.
So it's weird that it tastes like Earl Grey. And then you get kind of like an earthy taste that is very like very, very earthy, very strong. You realize it kind of tastes like mushrooms, and that's a weird combination in your head.
Ugh.
And ooh.
It's not that.
Can you real quick roll a wisdom saving throw?
Oh boy, why am I? Medora,
You should be good
Medora.
at this. You're a ranger.
Medora, why am I taking a wisdom saving?
You put the whole bottle in the
Oh,
Did you
natural
crit?
20,
Absolutely.
which makes it a 22.
Only a 22?
Look, okay.
The judgment from the min-maxer goes so
Well, I'm just
hard.
confused because that would mean you don't even have a
22.
+1 in wisdom.
My highest stat is a 15 on my character sheet. I will say that much.
Ooh.
What a
That's just
champion.
like, okay. I got a
This
natural
is-
20 though. This
this
is
is
my
very-
This is my moment. Thank you.
This is
I
so
win.
grand
I win
for-
D&D today. I'm
Dungeons
not
and Dragons
bad.
has been won. There is a strange feeling
Oh, no,
that
that's not
comes over you
Whoa.
as you almost feel as though you're for a second you're floating again.
Ooh.
Just like you were all those years ago, but this time you're fully conscious and awake, and you kind of blink a couple times, close your eyes for a second, and open them again to a world far different than that you could have sworn you were sitting in. It is bathed in gossamer blue tones, shifting sepia, and you see off in the distance the creature that haunts your nightmares. You've never seen it truly, just heard its voice lingering in the darkest recesses of your mind. Normally, it's a voice that causes you to fear. But somehow, maybe it's the Earl Grey. You aren't frightened of it. You look around and you still do see the people that are around you kind of moving slowly and waving in this shimmering mirage-like vision that you have. The first thing that truly does frighten you during this strange sequence is standing directly behind Medora, not standing, hovering, is a figure that stands tall, floating above the ground, shrouded in white, with almost a veil of darkness over her face, clearly a woman of some kind. But she looks at you. And can you make an insight check for me?
Of course I can. 14.
And as she points her hood towards you, where you should be able to see underneath it, to glimpse some form of shape, of something, anything, but there is nothing but an inky well of darkness. You are awash with a grief, a sadness that emanates from this creature as she looks away from you and points towards the window. And you blink again and snap out of it back into a regular,
You all
kind
right?
of snapping at you, trying to wake you up, and you are back in the present.
You good?
What the hell did you put in that drink?
Look, you took the whole bottle. I didn't think you were gonna take the whole dang bottle. It was supposed to. You just take a pinch. Yeah, take a pinch. You
I
went
saw things.
with alcohol. What'd you see?
I saw the thing from my dreams, from my bad ones. I saw the thing that's been talking to me, and I saw above you there was this like figure of light almost. It was like a ghost, and I felt grief. I don't know what it was,
Don't talk about it.
but
Don't talk about it.
It looked out the window, and I point out the window.
Specifically, the window is directly next to Talith.
I point out the window that's directly next to Talith, specifically, and we all look.
Okay, excellent. Does everyone look out the window?
Yeah.
I know I'll look. I'll sure as hell look.
Sweet. For everyone who looks out the window, can I have you roll a charisma saving throw?
Oh,
I would love nothing more, DM.
Oh boy!
I'm scared.
It was on a 20 and it went to a 14. 15. Dang it! Ah!
Actually, wait, DM,
15.
you said charisma saving throw?
A charisma saving throw, yes.
I'm kind of. Well, no, I'm not gonna worry about this.
15.
My dice was on a 6, and then it stayed on a 6. So my charisma saving throw is a 6.
Awesome.
666.
Awesome. So we've got a 6. We've got a 15.
13 for me.
13. How you doing, Medora?
I rolled an 18.
18. For those of you who rolled below a 15,
That's me.
15 was the DC.
I should have used silvery barbs.
Daddy.
I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Lovely. I would love nothing more, DM.
Oh,
Good.
wait, maybe something good will happen.
Who knows?
We don't know.
Look, they've been talking about
Aaron, we're
chaos.
talking about
They've been talking about chaos. They've been talking about creatures. You know, maybe it's just a random thing. Maybe it's not even bad. It's the dream train after all.
So I've got this really sweet D8. I think it's a D8. It might be. Is it a D4? Oh my god, it's a D4. This is really sick D4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've never seen a D4.
You're pointing
my
it up
camera,
in
my
the
camera
wrong
is the wrong
direction.
camera. Never seen one. It has an eye in it that like moves around.
Ooh.
Yeah, really, really cool. But I've just been sitting here spinning it like a Beyblade, but it's like really pointy, and so it's like actually my finger's starting to bleed. So
Oh my gosh.
I really need to stop doing that. But
You
it's
are
so
playing-
much fun.
You're playing D&D too extreme.
Yeah,
You gotta
this
dial
is
it back,
X-Games
buddy.
D&D. I believe it is Grant and Drew. Could you please tell me what you got on the D100?
I rolled a 44.
A 44.
I rolled a 2, DM.
That is awesome. So the two of you look out the window. The two of you look out. Actually, all four of you look out the window, and all four of you do see the same thing to an extent. Describing it is difficult. Outside the window, there's nothing but darkness. There are no stars. There is nothing but an inky blackness. So dark, so pitch that is almost liquid.
This isn't your everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness.
Now, it is not the dark that frightens you, but within every creature, there's a fear of it. There's a fear of that darkness. But it is not in itself frightening. It is the fear of what could lurk within it. And as you gaze into this darkness outside the window, where on the other side of the train, perhaps you can see stars, perhaps you can see existence, but you look to the edge of reality. And for a brief moment, you feel something move in that darkness, something primal, something so massive, so huge that to even shift in its sleep is to snuff out a star. And you feel it dream. For someone as versed in magic as Talith, this is like someone throwing a breaker on a switchboard. And it hits you with a force that causes you to lights out. Immediately, your essence retreats into your mind and you become paralyzed.
Nice.
For Leslie Bear, that's his name, this madness affects you in a different way. This dream reaches into your mind that has just been so recently jarred. And you just begin to babble, to just noises come out of your mouth. Perhaps you are speaking words. Perhaps you are saying things in a language that does not exist, or that should never be spoken in the first place. You are now fully incapable of normal speech and spell casting.
Oh, wait, say that last part again?
You are incapable of normal speech or spell casting.
Gotcha.
For both of you, this effect will last. I found the die that I needed. For the next 7 minutes.
I don't know where this is going.
As Leslie begins to just speak incoherent words and Talith slumps rigid in his seat, glassy eyes staring out into nothingness, even his snake and bird seem like dazed and confused, as though the link that they had to Talith intrinsically has been severed. The train car rocks, and turbulence, as though the tracks you are on begin to ripple. The whole car begins to shake and shudder, and you hear the grinding of steel on steel as the wheels begin to stop and the train begins to slow.
Blorgo.
Oh
no.
Are we at our stop? This doesn't look like Ouroboros.
This does not.
Where are we?
We got a passed out man and a man that can't speak.
The intercom comes on and says, "Howdy, y'all. This is your conductor, St. Clara. I'm sorry to say that there appears to be a problem that has caused the dream train to temporarily stop moving, which shouldn't be possible. This could only be the effect of some great astral being that exists beyond the veil. And so I'm afraid that until I can get the train back up and moving again, we will be caught in between reality and the dark nothingness that lies behind our knowledge. For those of you who looked out the train to the east, or whatever east means in this temporal dimension, I am sorry for any negative effects that may have befallen you, as you have gazed into something that should never be seen, and it looked back at you. I'm going to try to fix this, but it appears as though monsters are knocking on the door, and I may have to fight them off before that occurs. In the meanwhile, please try to keep yourself safe and be warned that you did sign a warranty before getting on the train that any lives lost are not the responsibility of the Dream Train Corporation or any of its affiliates. Thank you very much for riding the Dream Train. May you have a pleasant rest and try not to die. Thank you."
Leslie immediately stands up looking very serious. He points over to where Talith is slumped on the chair and goes, and then And then he looks over kind of towards the door and he starts like almost motioning as if he's giving instructions. Glorbo mich blanco.
I'm gonna pick up Talith and we're gonna go to the conductor in the. No, I think we should try and help.
He points at Jar Jar. Sorry, he points at Medora and says, and he points over at Talith.
Oh, you think I have something that can help Talith?
He just looks confused.
Oh God.
I think we should go to the engineer's car. See if we can help.
Bingus.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I could not hold this. The thing just caught me. Oh my god.
Word.
We're gonna die. Bingus.
It was just such with a straight face, too. Just bingus.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Medora, what do you think?
I'm still trying to figure out what he was telling me with Talith. The man looks dead. His eyes are like glass. He's like.
Would you like to make a
Fine,
medicine
let's
check?
shake it off.
I can try.
Yeah,
Can
whoever would
I
like to.
assist?
Yes, absolutely. Make a medicine check on Talith.
Come on, Medora, you got this.
With advantage, so you'll have
okay.
advantage on it. Yeah.
That is one of my proficiencies.
Yeah.
11.
11 is good enough. You spent a lot of time with people on drugs. And a lot of times like adverse effects can cause them to like retreat into their own like inner self when fear or anything like that happens just a little crazy and they just kind of stare out into nothingness. It's just basically Talith is on a real bad trip right now. But you think that you could probably snap him out of it by like injuring him to some extent.
Hey.
Either that or it will wear off in time.
Does anybody have Narcan?
You know what? I think, let's see.
So yeah, basically any damage will snap him out of it.
Okay. Can I slap him across the face?
Yes, absolutely. This is a for sure hit, and it is a melee attack. You don't even need to roll for this, since he is paralyzed. But this is an unarmed strike, so it will deal 1 damage at max. So you slap him across the face.
Wake up!
You take 1 point of damage, Talith. It's a shame that you would have been down 2 points of damage, but thank God you healed that one.
My unarmed strike does 5 damage.
Yeah, like we can have you do the slapping.
Don't make Addie upset.
You kill Talith with an open palm slap.
or pass
Talith,
out.
you retreated into your own mind. Whatever that means to you is what that means. Whatever that looked like to escape the horror that you witnessed outside. But you then like blink and open your eyes, and man, does your jaw hurt really bad. Your bird starts to chirp again. Melody and Sirius begin to like check you out to make sure that you're alive and everything like that.
I'm fine.
Medora, that slap hurt your hand. Like it like hurts. And I will state, Talith does have a palm mark, like turkeyed into his face now.
That was a good one.
Our poor pale king.
That was great.
Ow.
You're up now. I'm like trying to hide my hand.
He's like looking around, like slowly remembering where the heck he even is. Oh, right. Clock, train. Yeah. Okay.
Clock, train. We gotta get up.
He just looks around. Is his pipe somewhere?
Yeah, it's kind of resting on the seat where it last was.
Cool. He picks up his pipe. He looks at it now fully burnt out, and it's like, he just puts it in his bag and grabs his book and puts that away as well.
Fair.
So what happened? What's going on? It doesn't seem we're moving anymore either.
I wanna let Bear explain it.
Bear just like holds his finger up. Is there a napkin and something to write with?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
grab
cast
a napkin.
message. I cast message to Bear.
I grab a pen and I write Timpuk Smirnoff. And I slide it over.
DM
to
as he's
Talith.
thinking. As he's
I do
writing
a thumbs
as he's
up?
thinking while he's writing, does it come coherently via message reply?
No.
No. Okay.
It also is in Simlish. Kashmorga.
You are.
Kashmorga Gorb logo.
Talith also just walks over to him and just like just stares deep into his eyes.
I kiss him.
I slap him.
I'm just kidding. I know.
It's a hello in the language of his people.
It
Guys,
doesn't
I got an
happen.
idea. I got an idea.
If
Bear.
I can't speak in normal language, I got to speak a language of
wait,
love.
Bear.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
We could do a game of charades, all right? We're gonna do this, or just could give us one word first, or one or two words.
I hold up a finger. One.
Okay, one word. All right. One word.
Can I look out the door to our cabin and just peek around the hallway a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Which way? Towards the conductor or away from the conductor?
Let's go towards the conductor first.
I'll
That
look
feels
away
that
from
feels
the conductor then.
Okay.
Same time.
I'm trying to struggle with Bear, trying to get charades. I'm like, come on, man.
There.
Okay, attack, fight.
I'll start with Gracie. Addie looks out the kind of rear porthole to the car behind you. They're obviously separated by like the old-fashioned train link. Like you have to step over emptiness in order to get to the next car. But you can see through each window to the next one. And there aren't a lot of people in the upper class cars. There never are. You do see that there appears to be a Githyanki and a Gif. So
Nice.
basically a big hippo person. And hold on, I said Githyanki.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I was like, for a second, I couldn't remember if that was the bug people or the people from space.
No.
Mark
Space
logo.
people.
Yep.
Bing,
Good old
bing.
It took
gang.
me a second. There is basically a hippo person with a large rifle, and a kind of a yellow-skinned, with brown hair and kind of a short, almost stub nose that appears to be very lithe. That are both like cautiously looking around their cabin, ready to engage if anything walks in.
Oh, so they're passengers.
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're
good.
I'll then go over to Talith. You look towards the kind of the front of the train, to the engine room. There is a passenger car, and there is kind of the coal car before you actually get to the engine. Mm-hmm. The passenger car in front of you is empty. There are no passengers in front of you in that car. You cannot see into the coal room, just because it's a distant look. Mm-hmm. But you do see that there is a crack on the window to the coal room.
Mm-hmm. It seems that there perhaps is something happening near the conductor. I think if we all went to live, it might be best to head that direction.
Works for me. Let's do it.
And I will quickly, before Talith will take like a step out the door before turning around and looking at Leslie. Could I make a quick Arcana check to see, would a slap to the face do the same thing to Leslie that it did to me?
You
my gosh.
absolutely can make this Arcana check.
Oof.
I thought you were
Not
just going
great.
to go right into it saying,
Not great.
you absolutely think that would work.
Not great, but it's fine. It's a 9.
Only one way to find out.
I just walk over to him and I put one hand just on his cheek, just very calmly,
Meanwhile, while this is happening, I am doing the charades, the old put them up, like the
You want to go fighting?
Or
because
okay,
I'm doing
need to fight?
charades for
Yeah.
Medora. And I'm like trying to say something while you put your hand up.
So fighting, we got to fight. Okay.
So
I look
DM,
confused and look you right in the eye, Tal, as
yeah,
you put
I
your
just
hand up to my face.
I just put with just very gently, just a hand on his cheek, and he just starts to
Close
feel
your eyes,
of like a
Barry.
just a very slight headache, like near his temple.
Oh,
Shitogo,
Shitogo?
DM, I'm gonna do a psychic bite.
I like it.
What?
Light him up.
What?
But can I purposely only deal 1 point of damage? Is that allowed?
Yes, I will absolutely allow this.
Lovely.
This TPK is my dream. Episode 1. No enemies.
Yep. Hey, you
party
said
dies
no
self-damage.
attack roll. No attack rolls, okay?
It's true.
That hasn't been happened yet. So yeah, I'll just do 1 point of damage. And I'll just see if it does anything. Also, I regain some health again.
Sweet.
What does this look like? What does it feel like?
So I will say so basically, Talith puts one hand very gently on your cheek, but
Bear puts his hand on your hand. It's
but
Godo.
but not quite as obvious as his other hand that actually is reaching around and just placing a hand at the base of your neck on the back.
Just going for a kiss.
And you see like this slight I would say Medora and Addie would see from the back of Talith's neck just a slight glow of some kind that transfers through his right hand and into the back of Leslie's neck, just for like a brief flash, and then
It does not cure you.
Oh god.
well, I tried. He turns around and starts walking towards the conductor.
Give him a blow.
All right, Addie's gonna go towards the conductor as well.
Absolutely. You take the 1 point of damage, Leslie.
Goody. Oh, goody.
Oh, DM,
I
can I also use that time to gain a memory bead by chance?
Yeah, sure.
Lovely.
I'll absolutely allow this to happen because it's fantastic for plot going forward. Exposition. My favorite thing.
Bear breaks out a Tylenol.
Yep. Bear has taken like 3 drugs in episode 1.
He's an addict.
My guy is going in. So I will also say, Bear, you have about 2 minutes left.
Oh, thank God.
On this, you got about 2 minutes in game time, so that could be 4 episodes if we really make it last.
All right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
As you guys head into the next car, Addie, I know that I'm asking you for a lot of mental checks, and that's not exactly your vibe.
Evil.
But could you just really take a quick perception check because you're the only one who would notice?
Yeah.
Also, DM.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
can do that.
Could I send?
I'll even let you roll with advantage.
Ooh, yay!
While this is happening, DM, could I send
17.
Melody forward
For sure.
to begin to scout a little bit?
You absolutely can. Melody flaps her way. I keep forgetting that my camera's over here now.
Wait, do that again. Do the hand thing, because I love it every time you do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a gift. I have very flexible thumb and pinky. Melody flaps forward. You, it's tough because there's a door. So you crack open the door and send Melody into the next car. What did you say you got on that check, Addie?
17.
Awesome. As you head into the next car and the door swings back behind you, you do a quick check over your shoulder, and you see just a bit into the porthole of the cabin behind you. And there isn't anyone in it anymore.
Everyone through the door. Right now. Everyone through right now. Let's go.
Okay, go.
Yeah. And I'd like try to like push a little bit. It's like
Absolutely. You head into the next
you have to
car,
help
close the door
Bear.
behind you.
You have to
I'm
help Bear.
dragging.
His head hurts.
Dragging him through.
Thank you.
No. There's no lasting effects for my thing.
You know, he's been through a lot.
there's more than drugs.
Day.
Yeah, it's been a day.
Emotional
Got a
roller
case of the
coaster.
Mondays.
How does the door to the train work?
It has like one of those handles with a button that you press. It is lockable.
Okay.
There's like a deadbolt lock, but it's more of like a click, and you can push or pull it away or towards you. It's a swinging door. It's not a sliding door.
Swinging door. Okay. Is there like a way that like two handles where I could wedge something?
Canonically, yes.
Can I
Because-
take one of my hand axes and wedge it
You
in
absolutely
the
can.
two handles in a way where if they tried to swing it, it would hook on the head of the axe?
For sure. I'm gonna give you one. Can you please make whatever check you would like? Just
Athletics?
go
I think
for
she
it.
wants to make a charisma check, DM.
I don't think she.
Can you
was
make
actually-
another Arcana check for me?
That is a 15.
A 15, yeah. This is just, here's the thing. You could have done this trap or this kind of lock in a lot of ways. You just like ram your axe like in just as hard as you can, trying to like mess up the like function of the door.
Yeah.
There's no finesse to it. It's just brute force.
I hate magic.
Exactly. You don't need no fancy magic to barricade a door.
Nah.
You jam your hand axe in there and carry on by. There is nothing. Well, to your knowledge, there is nothing within this cabin.
We're gonna keep on moving, everyone. We're going to the conductor's cabin. Let's go right now. I am at this point carrying Bear.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was
Over my
falling,
shoulder?
but that's even better. Yeah, please.
We're going, everyone.
Bear has
Through the
his
door.
gun up, like looking behind, so that I'm covering our backs. So if anything weird happens over there, Bear gets to see. He won't be able to tell them what happened, but he'll see it at least.
This is my favorite person to ever put on watch. Is Bear unable to speak?
Because he's just gonna go.
Bear while he's on drugs.
Bring me more.
Bingus.
Fantastic. You head through this cabin. Is there anything you would like to do before you try to head to the? Oh yes, Medora.
I don't know what check this would fall under. I don't know if it'd be Arcana or Nature, but just like checking for life forms.
Oh, that is a fantastic question. Checking for life forms. This is a really philosophical question because what do you truly define as alive?
I mean,
That's the question. That's what I'm.
Tell you what, can you just
like magical beings, right?
can you just give me a wisdom check?
Oh, okay.
Just a wisdom. No
How
fancy
many-
ability. Just
How many
wisdom.
breathing things are with us right now?
Trees breathe.
16.
16. Yeah. So, but would you really want me to tell you all the trees? 16.
I speak for the trees.
This is an interesting situation to be in because Medora, you are a very special girl. You have always been someone who communicates well with things no longer on the mortal plane. Some call it a little bit disturbing sometimes. Some just call it, talking. You sense that there definitely were things alive here. Normally, you would even be able to tell their souls. You would be able to at least sense that their souls are still present because no one has been here to dismiss them. But it's almost as though what you're looking at is just the shadow of a soul, kind of like the like imprints of people after an atomic bomb. as though every part of them has been eliminated, and all you're left with is the outline of what was once there. Can you make either a perception or investigation while you do this?
Yeah, I could do that.
You got it.
Should
You
I
got
do
it, Queen.
perception or
Perception or investigation,
or
whichever is better for you.
Yeah.
okay, I'll do the investigation. Yeah, investigation.
Okay.
15.
15.
Wait, yeah, 15.
Normally, if there were people here, you would find some evidence of them. Maybe, I mean, you've seen people straight up like raptured before, where it's just left with like clothes and a pair of shoes. Like, you've seen all sorts of things in your travels. There's all sorts of ways that people can die. There is no evidence that there ever was anyone in this cabin until you look under one of the seats and you see a little bronze spring. You don't know what it would go to or why it's here, but it seems strangely out of place. As you
this box spring.
You absolutely can. It's literally like smaller than a pencil eraser.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's like a little tiny spring. You pick that up, throw it in your bag. As you do, Bear, you're kind of, you notice that Medora is like looking at something. She has kind of a weird, her like eyes are glowing a little bit. It's a little freaky. You look back up, checking the rear of the group, and you notice that you can't see into the car behind you. The window is just painted black.
I start like trying to point.
I turn around with him on my shoulder so he's facing the engineer's way to look at the window. Out. Everyone out.
Bingus.
Head to the
Right
head to the
now.
cold room.
Yes, everyone out right now.
And I look at it.
Fantastic.
I like to imagine like while all of that was happening, Talith like approached the door, he cracked it open, he was peeking through, and then all of a sudden he just whoa.
Everyone piles in behind Talith, moving into the coal room. Now, the coal room is a kind of a misnomer because the Dream Train doesn't run on fossil fuels. This is a magic world of sorcery and wizards. It literally runs on dreams. Dreams are harvested on the sector of Dramure. It is unknown how they do it, but it is a very effective fuel when you're trying to create something that moves but also doesn't go anywhere. The Dream Train has a secret fuel that no one really knows how it comes to. Exactly.
Pretty weird.
So you move into what would be the coal room. There isn't any coal in here. There are just a bunch of tubes and mechanisms and pipes and barrels that are suspended with cords and various piping that moves between one of them, pumping a liquid of unknown source. All the way from here into the engine room. It's almost as though you've stepped into another world when you walk into the coal room. You feel your stomach drop, your blood pumping through your body suddenly becomes something that you are keenly aware of. It's as though there is no sound here. The only thing that you can hear is your breath, the breath of those around you. Every swallow that you have, you can feel each gulp, each tremor in your hand. You become aware of the amount of tiny micro adjustments that your legs take to even keep you balanced. You are keenly aware of your own thoughts. And then you realize that there's a voice there that isn't yours.
Oh, God.
You all have the same voice in your head.
I drop my dagger.
Do you drop your bear?
No, with the other hand.
I'm still on your shoulder. Great. I'm like, whoa, I'm not even standing, bro.
The worst part of this voice in your head is that it doesn't say anything. It just screams. Would you like to go anywhere?
I would like to go away from wherever this room is, please.
Is there any other room ahead?
Yes, there is the engine room.
Sounds great.
Just started like patting Addie on the back, like trying to.
Okay. All right.
Before he
Medora,
leaves,
you have a hand raised.
Oh,
Ooh,
yep.
the two
No,
of you. I'll
no,
start with
go
Medora.
ahead.
She kindly raised her
Yeah,
hand.
you did.
Just want to see if there's any like suspicious well, they're all suspicious containers, but like a suspicious container that might have something in it.
Yeah, roll an investigation check for me.
Great.
What was your question while we're here?
Oh well, I wanted to do something ridiculous.
I'm so excited.
I
I love
wanted
ridiculous garbage.
to I just like walk over next to like near one of the walls where like all the piping is, and you can see like all the dream fluid flowing through or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Talos just wants to like he just walks over very calmly and somewhat like fidgety almost, and just places his hand, his right hand on the wall. It just tries to like kind of feel the weave embedded into running through the pipes of this. Could I possibly draw on any of this magic?
Make an Arcana check for me.
Lovely.
How we doing, Medora?
Is a 10 okay?
As you said, every single thing in here is suspicious and strange. You actually have probably a bit more familiarity with it than most because, specifically because of your, Mama taught you a lot, right? This is from your home. Mama is the sole distributor of dreams harvested. So you know a bit more than most about what exactly is in these containers. From your check, there was nothing that you would see that is like out of place here. There's nothing that you would see that is like shouldn't be in a weird room filled with weird stuff. Everything's weird.
Heard.
Talith, how we doing?
I rolled a 16, DM.
A 16. I will state you can roll this with advantage.
Oh, go for
I
it.
only thought of this now, but you can. Because I'm cool.
Me, I'm just kidding.
That would be a 21, DM.
That is much better than a 16. You are, Medora's a special girl, and you are a pretty cool dude.
Nice.
Specifically, you are a guy who has some messed up stuff with his body. He got some weird stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
Dreams are a big deal to you.
Yeah.
Dreams are a very important part of who you are. You are not able to draw on the magic. It isn't the magic that you're drawing on. You can feel it. You reach through it. But lying just behind that web is a vast well of what at one point in time you craved more than anything. A delicious, succulent meal that just a little bit drives you a little mad. Could
Fair.
you roll a Constitution save?
I would love nothing more, DM.
What's happening right now is so incredibly strange and concerning. I just have
We're in
to
a
throw that out there.
strange room.
I'm glad that you are strange and concerned.
A
right
Constitution saving throw, DM?
now. Yes, that is the roll that I've asked for.
That'd be a 6.
That's not very good.
Oh,
Boo womp.
Now, Drew, you're going to have to remind me because I don't have the sheet pulled up here because I was like, there's no way that this will come into play on episode 1. You're going to have to remind me of how exactly it works, and I'm just going to let you do whatever you want with it.
Okay, great.
You specifically, I will say, first off, none of the people in this room are of interest to you.
Yeah, of course. Now, I got a well right here.
But there is a source of vitality in the engine room that is tantalizing.
Oh, lovely.
As
I want nothing more.
Just for a bit. I would say no more than 30 seconds.
Oh,
which would be
that's longer than I
5
anticipated.
rounds at most.
Yeah, sure.
You enter into your kind of berserk mode.
Yeah. My bloodlust.
Berserk.
Yes,
mode?
your bloodlust kind of breaks out.
Nice.
And you are inexorably drawn into the engine room.
Nice. Love it.
That's the exact kind of energy we need. We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Set down.
Yeah. So
poor girl.
all of you guys will see this, and it happens honestly faster probably than you guys can even react. Where you see Tao kind of place his hand on the wall of this coal room, and I forgot to explain this. His arcane focus is embedded in a kind of leather gauntlet that he has on his right hand, and you see kind of his emerald green eye kind of flash with arcane energy, and then his features slightly become exaggerated almost, and you see that glowing that glowing energy from the base of the back of his neck begins to build and pulse and emanate. And unlike before, where it was just a flash, it doesn't dissipate. And very quickly, again, moving faster than you could probably react, he just books it to the next room.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, you see Talith run almost inhumanly, almost on all fours, quadrupedal, digging his fingers. You actually see where his hands land on the steel walls. There are small holes, indentations where his fingers land on the steel. Talith, within your mind, you hear the very familiar laugh of a woman. And then a much deeper voice that you fear is your own. And it just says, feed. Talith busts through into the engine room. Would anyone else like to follow him?
Me.
Let's
I
just
get around as fast as possible with
Bear
a
just-
knife drawn.
Bear just
Mama
looks,
told me not to follow people like this, but all right.
Bear just looks very concerned towards
Bear,
the other two. As
Your
they
madness wears off.
Borgo, I mean, that was awful to watch. Might
I'm
as
a
well
little
make our way to
concerned.
the engine room.
The four of you bust into the engine room. Talith at the lead, Adeline close behind, with the other two following kind of in tandem. What you see is rather concerning to you. The engine room, at the forefront lies this massive, almost furnace. This huge, if it were a steam engine, this is where the coal would be shoveled into, and the steam would begin to boil and force the train forward. There is a flickering shield of golden light that is surrounding that area, as you see within that shield, who you presume to be the conductor.
Nice.
Saint Clara, also known as Saint Clarita, but she prefers Clara, is crouched over the engine, pounding it away at it with a golden hammer. Saint Clara is originally wearing overalls. She has taken off the top part of the overalls, leaving just the pants, and kind of a sweaty white undershirt. She is beyond shredded.
Nice.
Every single
Let's
muscle in
go.
her back is defined. The shirt clings to it, so you can see the definition. Tricep, bicep, forearm, like
Traps,
she
you
is
already
swinging this
know.
hammer. The lats extend.
Got that
She's like a
Dorito
bird.
back.
Absolutely, she is ripped to the core, literally. And sweat drips down her face. She has kind of not quite red, but ruddy brown hair that is currently sopping wet, hanging to the side of her face, cut kind of short, as she is attempting to repair this engine. Surrounding the shield that is flickering and fading, you can actually see hairline fractures carving their way up this shield. There is a formless mass of something. You cannot make out exactly what its form is. It seems as though the idea of form itself is not something that this thing even understands. It is so primal, so beginning, that physical form has not even entered its thought process. The closest thing that has to physical form are the claws and fists that pound into this shield, attempting to reach the core of the dream train. As you four enter into the engine room, St. Clara will look up for a brief second and say, "Oh, well, howdy there, everybody. I'm sorry to say that there may be some delays to your travel time. I'm afraid that if this shield breaks, this creature's going to get to me, and that's going to cause some serious troubles with me getting this thing repaired."
What do we need to do? We'll do whatever it takes.
Talith
I'd
has
say-
not stopped moving.
Talith is in mid-run while this conversation is happening.
I don't know if we're going to enter combat, DM, but this is effectively what Talith is going to begin to try to do. His fists and hands begin to build with more arcane energy, and he's going to attack the formless creature attacking the shield.
Awesome.
Oh,
As
man.
Talith rushes forward,
boy.
arcane
Not what I
energy
was
in his
expecting.
hands,
gonna
beginning
throw
to
hands with
build and rip at this creature. St. Clara will look at all of you and say, "I don't need much time, just a little bit. If you can hold this thing off, I can get this engine running, the shields will come back up, and then we ain't gonna have no more problems till we reach a rest stop."
Well, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I guess he's already gone started. I
So what
guess
I'm
we'd
gonna
better-
do with him is laisser le bon temps rouler.
I don't know what that means. And that's where we're going to end this episode tonight.
The chaos creature got her. It got her.
Absolutely. That is the where we are going to end episode 1 of I almost said Between the Rows. Wrong campaign.
So much happened. What?
Absolutely. First of all, I would like to thank all of my players and our viewers out there for joining me at my table, so to speak, this session.
Well, thank you, DM, for having us. Genuinely incredible, fanciful.
I'm
Wondrous.
glad
Quite
that
delicious.
you hopefully enjoyed it, especially those of you watching. I hope that you had a really good time. If you would like to engage with more Dungeoneers, if you would like to hang out with other people who have watched this episode, talk about it, talk about future episodes, what you think is going to happen, talk about how you ship every single character with St. Clara, you absolutely can. Join our Discord. Our Discord is fantastic. We also have certain new cast members who are very good and cool and know people and are making the Discord not suck. So
It is steadily improving. It's been
steadily
wonderful.
we are
Thank you,
improving everything.
Gracie.
It's also it's Gracie, everyone. It's Gracie. There's also it's also our main way of providing updates to you, announcements, any TPD stuff that's going on. You can also search out the rest of the players at the table. I know that we did a little bit of this at the start. Going forward, we're pretty much only going to do shout outs and like where to find people at the end. So if you want to remember where that is, it'll be at the end of the episodes. Are there any cool stuff that you guys are doing or events that you want people to go to, or like where they can find you? Any cool things going on?
I'll just say, if you haven't already, check out all the character one-shots for all the people.
Yes.
If you're curious at all and want to learn a little bit more about who we're playing, that's a good way
Or
to do
those
it.
memories that we all saw.
Some of these were things that may or may not have been seen before. Some haven't been seen yet.
I had a feeling. Well, I'll go ahead and go
had a
first, just
feeling.
sharing where you can find me. I am Philo Grant on Twitch, Philo Grant. I play through story games, like campaign-esque story games. So you can find me there and watch me play some fun, cozy games. And also, I will be at PAX Unplugged this year from December 6th through the 9th. So you can also see me there if you will be at PAX Unplugged. I will be representing the Paper Dungeon there. So I'll have a little media badge. You should be able to see me walk around. I'm quite friendly, so don't be nervous to say hi. And I'll go ahead and pass it along to whoever would like to share next.
Do we have anyone who would like to share next? Awesome.
Yes, no, we totally do. Guys, plug yourselves. Go ahead, please. Plug yourselves. Go ahead, Jar Jar.
Wow, way to throw Jar Jar.
You can find me on all socials under the name Jar Jar Tings, JarJarTingz. Fingers crossed, coming up with the new schedule for now live streaming on Twitch. Plan is to do cozy games, but I might play some other games as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, new content to come to TikTok and everything else. Don't know what fell, but yeah.
We may never know. Gracie, now you're required to plug yourself.
All right, you can find me over on Twitch, Gracie, spelled like this right here. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok over at Gracie Kate Makes, spelled GRACIE, CATE Makes.
Awesome.
That's it.
Nice.
Drew, do you have anything that you need to plug specifically?
Hey guys, come check us out next week for episode 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Let's go.
The only thing that I have to plug, if you want to support us, tell your friends and family. That's the easiest. It's free. Gushing, yap it up.
And we've never paid for advertising, so word of
Absolutely.
mouth goes a long way. It's the best way to help
the
us
longest way that we have to spread our show to the world. We also do have a Patreon, which you can stop by. I will be adding more to that as I go. Think DM notes, think cool polls that will influence the world. You may get to decide whether or not the dream train is here and where it goes. All sorts of stuff like that. The mysterious man in black, you may or may not have the ability to control his movements, whether he gains on the party or distances himself from them. Stuff like that. So keep an eye out on Patreon. And you can also subscribe to us here on Twitch, on YouTube. If you are listening on the podcast, it is huge help to us. We love our podcast listeners. You are incredibly special. Follow our show. Rate us 5 stars. Those are 2 things you can do. You're super cool. We do not forget about you. We hope to see you eventually at a live thing. But if you don't, that's awesome. Speaking of people that support us, Kickstarter. Let's go. You guys are awesome. Our backers are incredible, and we thank you so much. You tripled our goal, and it means so much. With this ramshackle thing that we got together, you showed so much support. Keep an eye on your email. If you haven't filled out the survey, fill out the survey, and we want to get your stuff to you that you deserve as fast as we can. I will be reaching out to people in the next couple of weeks for those at the mythical tier to work on their mythical events and stuff like that.
Ooh.
I don't think that I have anything more to cover. So the last thing that I have to say is the first time that I get to say it for campaign 2, but certainly not the last time. Good luck and Godspeed, everyone.
Wait, hey, whoa.
Hold on.
Start over.
Restart.
This is the first. Yeah,
Hold on.
You got this. Lock it in, man.
Good luck and Godspeed, everyone. we will see you next week, Dengineers. You have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
We did it. We got there.